Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? What is happening? This is Sir Yeetus, back again with another episode. Episode 86 of Yeetus' Thoughts. We're going to have a special guest today. I like his content. I like how articulate he is. I like how open-minded and how he can see things from multiple perspectives. But he will be here in 5 minutes. He's running a little bit late. But for the meanwhile, we're just going to have on Gray. What's going on, Gray?
Oh, evening Warband.
Yo, how's life today?
Honestly, busy. A lot of running around today.
Same here. I just got the chance to sit down like 15 minutes ago. My back hurts. Woo. I ain't getting any younger. Oh, man. But when Nixon Talks gets on, we're just going to be talking about his perspective on male issues within the West and various things that he has his perception on when it comes to, the Warband, the quote-unquote manosphere, and various other topics. This is going to be a good conversation because, to my knowledge, he isn't part of any of this. He is looking from the outside. So it would be a great discussion. So it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty good. Hopefully he is able to come soon. He said around 5 minutes. But Gray, how do you feel about self-respect for a man? He should have that at all times, 24/7. It doesn't matter, right? Self-respect.
I do think it's essential.
Yeah.
But there are also times when a man should feel shame.
That as well. Yeah.
Although, could a man without self-respect feel shame? It's kind of weird. Like, do you need
No,
self-respect in order to actually feel shame?
you do need self-respect
Yeah.
because then you'll be worried about how others that you care about perceive
Or
of you.
well, even taking others out of it. If you respect yourself, then you do something that is shameful, even if no one else knows about it. It is up to you to judge yourself. Essentially, your ideal self judging your imperfect self.
Pretty much, integrity plays a big part in that as well. So, integrity to yourself, which is where shame comes in. Because we
Man.
were always taught do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. So that's a big testament to, especially what we were talking about yesterday.
Indeed.
So
You've got to stand for something.
yeah, if you and believe me, I like a person with no self-respect will feel no shame, which is pretty much how many modern women are in the West these days.
Might even be a defense mechanism. They have no self-respect because as soon as they have to start to respect themselves, they immediately feel the shame because they know what they did.
Yes, so they try to normalize it.
Instead, by dragging the societal standard for shame down.
It's too hard for them to wait till marriage, I guess. Too hard for them to, be a homemaker and create a family.
Well,
It's too much for them.
a huge part of it, God, wandering into fucking dangerous territory here. So feel free to cut me off if I start speaking too much.
Okay.
But legal ages have varied.
I see what you're saying.
Biology has not.
I see what you're saying now. Okay. All right. But even when they're older, right? Like 18 years old or more, it's just crazy still how, even though they know that they're at that age where they're the most valuable, the most sought after, the most fertile to have children. Yeah, I'm just gonna hop around on multiple pogo sticks and see what happens.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they started doing that much earlier. They don't start being active in that way at 18.
Yeah, I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to
younger.
go younger than that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But
you
they
know what
complete
you know what I'm
puberty
saying.
young. I know, but they
Okay.
complete puberty at a younger age, and they must then contend for anywhere from 3 to 5 years in that state before they hit legal age.
But that's the thing, because of the normalizing of the new Sodom and Gomorrah society, it's almost impossible to keep them in a certain. Oh, our special guest is here.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, everybody, welcome to the one, the only Nixon Talks. What is going on, man?
My bad. Apologies for the tardiness. It is 10 a.m. with 8 minutes past Sydney Sunday morning here. I've just made my coffee. I forgot what time it was. My apologies, fellas.
Nah, it's all good. It happens. I am here to welcome you to Yeetus' thoughts. Me, Sir Yeetus, part of the Warband. I'm sure you already know. I have various questions for you since you are pretty much the person that's on the outside looking in on all the craziness that's happening when it comes to male issues.
Oh, yeah.
So let's start with male issues as a whole. What is your perspective on that in Western countries?
Well, first of all, welcome. Well, thank you for welcoming me, brother. I'm still sort of waking up. Thank you, so Yeetus, for having me on. It's nice to be asked to jump on a stream rather than asking people to come on a stream. So, uh, people might want to hear what you have to say. But thank you to you, and shout out to you, Sir Gray, for being here as well, and to the chat. So, hello to everyone here. Hope everyone's Saturdays are well. Male issues. It's something that probably affects every man out there, whether they be in America, Australia, the UK, wherever, everywhere around the world. Someone's got something going on there, and it affects everyone in one way or another. And for men today, especially, for all the talk that women have about men having it easy, men being privileged, etc., etc., I still don't think anyone's got it as privileged as women, because you see it every day. You can walk outside, something happens to you, and the police will come if you're lucky. If something happens to a female, everyone's already rushing to their aid. So it does have that sort of same old thing to it from years gone by, where women are always going to be sort of like seen as the victims, and men are always the perpetrators, in a sense, if they have or haven't done anything. So men do need their spaces. Men are obviously human beings and stuff like that. We shouldn't be demonized, but in this day and age, it's very easy to just group men into a whole bunch of different categories and just say every man is like that, and they're the reason why we have problems in the world, and that's why I can't walk down the street at night, etc., etc. And you can't put that blame on all of us.
I agree. So, based on what you just explained, and I'm sure you've known about modern feminism that's been around for around 60, 70 years.
Mm.
The progression from then until now, and on how crazy it has gotten, do you blame men for creating certain groups such as, the manosphere, or certain philosophies such as Red Pill MGTOW?
Well, first of all, I'm not part of any of these pills or philosophies per se. I was on
Right.
a stream. So I was on a stream yesterday with a few friends. We were discussing things, and I said to them, I said, "Look, I'm not X, insert X color of pill or this or that. I like to venture in different avenues because I can learn something from different places. And if you lump yourself, if you sort of stick with one particular philosophy, then you sort of like become that. And if that suits you, that's fine. There's no problems there. That if that's what you're looking for, that's cool. That's no problems at all. But some people like to say, okay, what's happening over here? Okay, well, what's happening on this side here? Okay, I like that. I can get on board with that. What's happening? Well, that's a bit too much for me, but I do like this other thing that they say. So you sort of like take in chunks of information from different places. And no, I don't blame men for having a manosphere out there, because we do need places where we need to go to talk about these things. I mean, if you look at the female side, they'll say, well, where can a female go to talk about their things? And they'll sit there scratching their heads, and you say, mainstream media, you got your Oprahs, you got your talk shows, you've got your women's centers, you got your helplines and all these other places. Men, where are men going to go? Men don't really have anywhere to go. That's why we created places like the manosphere, or why these things exist, so men can go to places so they can discuss their issues and sort out whatever it is they need to sort out without being chastised and criticized for what questions or issues that they may have. So it's sort of like a byproduct of the modern world, in a way, where, as I said, men can be questioned for anything, and on an accusation have their careers ended for them, just for asking a simple question. Well, where are men going to go after that? They still need their places. I mean, gentlemen's clubs and places like that existed for men specifically, and now you have to cater to the female side. But when it's ladies' night, no men allowed. So what's the go there?
Okay, so would you agree that at least with modern women, they thrive off of double standards?
Oh yeah, 100%, no doubt about it.
Okay. And speaking of, you saying that you're not part of a particular uh, group, or you don't stick with one ideal because you want to learn different avenues, different all kinds of information. I will claim that the Warband is pretty much everything. Like we don't just talk about one specific thing. We talk about everything that incorporates male issues. And I'm sure that you watch a few videos of ours.
Mhm.
But, our one core motto that will never change is no hymen, no diamond. So, how do you feel about that motto?
Oh, well, I know UC is very hard on that, and shout out to UC as well. First person to say, "Hey, jump on the stream," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no problems, I'll do that." In this day and age, possible, but probably hard to find. And he says it himself. He'll probably need to venture outside America to find himself a virgin bride. Like they are out there. I think the more westernized some nations become, maybe the harder that is to find. But I had an ex girlfriend who was a virgin. She was of Islam and cultural issues were the reason why that relationship ended. Obviously, two families coming from two different um, cultural backgrounds, and yeah, that probably could have been handled a little bit better from the get go. But I wasn't really looking into it that far ahead. But and she was a virgin, and I had no problem with that whatsoever. Actually, I think a lot of men will probably think, a virgin, like, what is she going to do for me? It's like, well, if you want someone who's going to be there with you potentially for the long run, you're going to want someone who hasn't been with, one or multiple men in the past. That's all good and well. But in this day and age, I think it is hard to find. But if that is what your goal is, I got no issues with it whatsoever. And you just don't know in this day and age as well, how many men women have been with, if any, until you finally get going and you have a quick look down there and see if there's anything of crimson happening down below. So I can get on board with it, but as I said, I just don't know if in this day and age it is something that is attainable.
I definitely agree. I'm going a similar route. If I plan on having a family in the future, whether it's 15, 20 years from now, I'm definitely not going to have it in the West because, once again, it's way too risky in the first place of one false move, or if a woman in the States feels like it can take away my kids or worse. So that's definitely a no-go for me. But if I do want to have a family, it will be overseas because I strongly believe, and I'm sure Under Chronic does too, all women are the same. It's just the environment is different.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
well,
true.
let's be honest. What do you think is less likely to happen? Finding a virgin bride in the West, or the laws changing?
Shit.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think on that one. You know what? I'm gonna put that as a poll for the chat. That's a good one. Oh no, I can't choose. But I do strongly believe that it's the culture, the religion, and the laws of the land that dictates how both genders, men and women, but mainly women, how they act. So if I can go to a more conservative country, there'll be a better chance for me to have a long-term relationship with a virgin. So, and don't you just love that, under Chronic, and he gets jumped from all sides just for saying that. No hymen, no diamond. For feminists, male feminists, simps, PUAs. I don't know, some random people. I don't know who it is. He just gets jumped like crazy just because he has standards as a man.
Yeah, it's wild to think that, how dare you? You want a woman to be a virgin? It's like, well, yeah, if the woman wants me to have like a 6-inch, schlonger and to make X amount of dollars before she marries me, why shouldn't I have something back in return? You want to be my wife? Well, in order for me to be your husband, you need to meet X criteria, and if they don't, well, sorry, love, someone who is going to. They're the ones that are probably going to be, taken on board and hitched up. Until then, I bid you adieu and all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you. And it's just simple as that, but it just gets under their skin so much, and forget all about the simps and PUAs, but strictly the feminists or the people who believe in sexual liberation. it just gets under the skin because I know deep down, they know that under chronic, he's right on
Hmm.
certain things. They don't have to agree, but facts are facts. That's what men of value are looking for.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right. Nowadays, with everyone just pretty much doing everything they want, and it's like that here in Australia as well. Um, like I DJ on weekends, and I see ladies in their best and their worst forms, shall we say. I see ladies who are dressed lovely, they look pretty, they're feminine, everything looks nice and well, and they're very proper. And I've seen ladies who dress nice, look feminine, and then after an hour, they're an absolute mess. They're grinding on guys. They're drinking themselves under the table. And you see that and you think to yourself, man, is it really worth it trying to find yourself a missus here out there when they're just not anything with what you probably expect out of life, but then they expect you again to be a certain way. And I think it's a pretty fair thing. It's a pretty fair deal. If I'm meant to be one way, I expect you to be another way. But the femmies and everyone else out there, progressives or far lefties or whatever we want to call them, they're going to be sitting there thinking like, chastising you. How dare you? You want a woman to be this way for you and she doesn't belong to you and you're not her ruler and etc. etc. It's like, I never said anything like that. But if you want to look at it in one way, if she wants X, I need Y in order to equal Z.
Yep, I agree. It should be a trans. See, that's the biggest thing that the Warband calls out all the time, right? And it's been talked about ever since 2014 because I remember saying, man, he's the pretty much the OG of speaking on these male issues. Women wanted their cake and eating it too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what'd you say?
No, I was saying like, yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah, it's like, why you expect me to be perfect, but I'm supposed to ignore what you did in your past, knowing that men has the most importance on a woman's past.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny as well because I know a few ladies out there, and I've seen them out in the wild, in the wilderness, how they act and how they behave, and then I've also seen them in their vulnerable state, saying like, "I don't want to be single anymore. I want to find a guy to marry. I want to be this. I want to be that." And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, if only this poor bastard knew what you were like, there is no chance in hell anyone would come next to you, unless they were that desperate and they had absolutely zero options in the world and they thought you were going to be the best thing that there was ever going to happen to them.
Well, let's be honest. That is very much socially engineered nowadays. Guys are meant to believe that any woman that gives them the time of day is valuable enough that they need to give everything because they're not getting a second chance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So when it comes to men realizing that uh, the game is rigged and it's rigged against men, and you pretty much can't win this game, so the best way to win is not to play. I'm not playing this game no more. Men are walking away in droves. So recently, or at least around last year, mainstream news are calling MGTOW groups, even though it's not a group, it's a philosophy. They're calling them extremist.
Yeah, I don't buy that. That to me is nonsense. It's like men who are going their own way, saying, you know what, I've been married or I've been divorced, and it wasn't for me, and it's not what I was looking for, and I don't want to go into that, part of my life, and I'm happy just doing my own thing. I'll just work, makes my money, enjoy my, my scotch on a random evening or whatever, and it just distance myself from ladies altogether. You may interact with them, but you're not interested in them at all. You don't care. I got no problems with that. The same way, if a female doesn't want to be partnered up with any male, if she wants to do her own thing, by all means, go for it. That's none of my business. I just don't see why men who decide to do things themselves, it's like they're saying, all right, well, I threw all my chips in, I lost, and I don't want to go back to the ATM and take out more money so I can play again. I'm just going to go home and just do what I do. It's like, no, please come back. Go back to the ATM. Take more chips out. Play again. You might be better this time. You might win. The odds are not in their favor. Once they've been burnt, they don't want to go back again. So why would they? So if everyone now is saying, well, MGTOWs are an extremist group, then all these career women, they're extremists too because they don't want to get married. They don't want to interact with men. So I don't see no difference there. You're doing your own thing. You're living your life. So what's the issue here?
Oh, I can explain the issue.
Oh, you can if you want
Yeah,
for the chat.
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quite simply, when a woman is attached to a man, a woman is a net tax loss. A man is a net tax gain. When a woman is attached to a man, the man is paying for the woman's expenses in place of the government. Therefore, every man that withdraws his resources from a woman increases the tax burden on the government.
That's true. That makes sense.
So when it comes to feminism, right? And feminism is spreading around the world, and it is starting to spread more, even in the Eastern countries. Based on what you know and see, read, is feminism really a good ideology for society?
I don't think so. I think it's trash. I don't like it at all. I really hate it. Poor Man's Podcast. Well, shout out to you.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
If that is the real deal, then shout out to you, my friend. The media has to get clicks. To get clicks, you have to have an enemy. That's true. And what better person to make an enemy out of than men out there, because men are just the easy targets. But no, feminism is trash. Feminism is a cancer. We all know it. It starts one way and it spreads itself, and it's become so bastardized now. It's just not even what they initially intended it to be. It's not about choice anymore. It's about do what I tell you to. Otherwise, I will call you every Eastern ism under the sun until you feel bad and you apologize, get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness. That's what it is nowadays. It's lost its original meaning. It doesn't really help anybody, and they are still going to come out after anybody who they disagree with for their ideology, for their political points, to gain more support or whatever it is that they need. So feminism, it's trash.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stop the conversation real quick. Poor Man Podcast, if you're still listening, what's going on, man? Been watching your channel since 20,000 subscribers. Hopefully, one day in the future, you'll be able to take a visit to the live stream so we can talk about various issues. I'm a big fan of you, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, I think I've been watching him when he was on like 20 or 40,000 subs. I don't remember exactly, but that's wild.
Yeah, he's blowing up right now. But so Anomaly said feminism created MGTOW. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, because there's so much of one thing. Where's the counterbalance? And MGTOW or Red Pill or X Pill or whatever it is, that's what came from feminism. When something is forward in one direction, you got to say to yourself, okay, hang on a second. I need to find something that suits me. I don't agree with this. So where am I in this? Oh, I know where I am. I'm about me doing my thing. I'm about me working. I'm about me enjoying my time and doing what I want to do and all those sorts of things. So yeah, I agree. It's probably an offshoot of that. However, some would probably argue that MGTOW was always around, but it was just never known. It was just something that men just did. They thought, yeah, I'll just kick back and relax and do my thing. And it might just be something that is now out in the open that maybe was already there. I'm not too sure.
From 2 points. Number one, I'd say MGTOW has always been around. I've been reading up on a couple different things lately, and there's always been individuals who don't dedicate their life to raising a family, but rather some sort of personal, typically a spiritual pursuit. So that's always been some aspect of typically men. I think that Mother Teresa would be an example of a woman who pursued that same kind of route. But that's been a thing throughout history. In more recent, you can think of Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla. It wasn't necessarily something that they took specifically as a move against the ruling powers of the day. It was a personal choice that came from a personal conviction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, feminism, on the other hand, it's a movement that benefits the weakest in society, the laziest, those with the weakest wills, or even those who just can't seem to gain any power or born to the loosest circumstances. Because feminism is, at the end of the day, all about using the power of the collective to tear down the strongest in society for the benefit of the weakest.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I have to say, yeah, Nikola Tesla. Yep, one of them, Isaac Newton. I think I heard someone say Isaac Newton died a virgin. Is that true?
From what I've heard, yes. I can't confirm though.
That poor man never knew the feeling of good puniti, and there would have been plenty of virgin back in the day. You would have thought, at least you would have hoped so, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and then that's the thing. So modern MGTOW is a much more purposeful movement. There's plenty of MGTOW men who would gladly contribute to a family if society let them. But society itself wants to give the women the authority because they are more easily controlled by the mass media, the tech oligarchs, the government, the powers that be, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want men ruling households. So then the men who either have ruled the households and been stripped from it, or men who consider building households to rule, have to weigh the options. Do I sacrifice myself to the government and the whims of a woman, or do I pursue the path of the spiritualists and the philosophers and the scientists of the past and withdraw my support from society as a whole?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Exactly right. Like when women control the household, they do control the spending. I think there's a stat out there that says what ladies, they make up 70 or 80% of like the spending of the household or something. Because very rarely, even in my experience in my life, have I ever seen a man say, you know what, we're going to need a new coffee table. We're going to need new lounges. We're going to need new this. It's always the ladies who are going to suggest, oh, we need new this. And it's usually the man who will say, why? It's working perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Why do you need to buy a new one? Or just groceries in general, or any random crap around the house, even for themselves. So when they're in control of the household, men have sort of like no power. And then kids maybe even will look at that and say, well, hell, my mum is doing everything here. My dad's not doing anything. So I'm going to pay attention, listen to my mum. Or if I want an easy out, I'll just go to my dad because he's easier to get through and trick or get what I want from them because there's no authority figure there. So it could be that. And I get the whole MGTOW thing, and I don't begrudge anyone that wants to do it. Like, you do what works best for you, man. If that's what you're looking for in life, by all means, you take it, run with it, and go for that touchdown.
Yep, I agree with everything that you just said so far. But the big question is how men are getting demonized through the roof of wanting to do their own thing because they see men, at least in my opinion, let me know if you have a different one. We have an inherent ability to adapt to adversity and danger. Right now, the state and women are that danger. So our response is the best way to win this rigged game is not to play. And it makes not just the state, but women in general so bitter because they know that they need us more than we need them. Because if we're by ourselves, like you said earlier, we only need the basics. Like if I had like a one room with a bed, a pillow, a folding chair, maybe a TV, I'm good. Like as long as I have a roof over my head, and I'm good to go. I don't really need much else. But men, we go to the moon. We made society how it is today, mainly for the most part for women, because like what Dave Chappelle says, if we can screw women without a house, we wouldn't even buy a house.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't need the car, if you didn't need the fancy things, you'd be getting it right in there. But no, you got a point. I think there is something to that because we do things for the women, and rather than doing things for ourselves. I mean, there's a meme out there. I think you've probably seen it. It's around the place, and it's literally got a picture of a TV on the floor. It's got like one crappy lounge. There's like a PlayStation or a PC there. There's a nice open window, and the caption reads, Men think it's okay to live like this and be perfectly happy, and a lot of the responses most of the time would be like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, that's all I need. I don't need much. I don't need a lot of these things. So yes, men can live in a 1-bedroom apartment or a small house or whatever, because they don't need a lot. They really don't. And the less you need, the more money you can save up for yourselves, the more you can do in your life. Then you can travel, you can buy whatever else you want that you feel like you need, without that need for a lady there to be telling you what to do and how much you make, and we need to spend this, we need to spend that, and blah blah blah. And it just becomes a massive pain in the ass.
And
Yep.
therein lies the inherent conflict, because a
Mhm.
man who's able to satisfy his own needs in a very minimalist way, like, that is a huge amount of money that isn't being spent, that
Yes.
isn't flowing through the economy, that isn't being taken in tax dollars.
Mhm.
So to the ruling powers of the modern world, that is an atrocity, a man living on his own.
Mhm.
Yep. That's why they push so hard since birth for a man to marry a woman as soon as possible. Well, not as soon as possible, as soon as he gets his career started and he has his own house and everything. Because eventually, you know, I say divorce is the great transfer of wealth. Because, of course, the state has all these, at least in the United States, I don't know if it's in Australia, have welfare to help single mothers, to help women that are financially struggling or out on the streets, etc. The less women get married, the more the burden will be put on the state, and the state does not want that.
Like, if the state could make it so that every man, from the instant he turns 18, is paying alimony and child support to a random woman, they absolutely would.
Oh, 100%. It's like you're allocated a sponsor child, like those old Sarah McLachlan videos, like, sponsor a kid in Africa. As soon as you turn 18, you're sponsoring like a single mother, or a child or something that's not yours, and you're paying child support for that child as automatically. That would be the end of it. There is no chance that that would happen. But in a weird way, you can sort of like say to
Well,
yourself, actually, you know what? This is possible.
That's the it kind of happens already with taxation and government programs. It's just
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah, slowly in there.
Yeah,
it-
they,
it's-
they
it's-
just
it's
make
there.
it so they only bleed you a little bit until you make the mistake of signing the contract, and then they can take an arm and a leg.
Mhm.
Yep. And the crazy part is, right, you know, certain situations, a man does get straight up extorted by the state because two situations that happened, true story. I'm gonna have to look it up again. A woman claimed a random man that she never met in her life wrote his name on the birth certificate, and he was still obligated to pay child support for a child that's not his, for a woman that he never touched and never seen in his life.
That's wild.
Second thing, which is getting more and more common, and that's very creepy and very concerning at this point. These teachers are messing with these students, and even though she's clearly in the wrong and she should be having a horrible time in prison, the courts made that child responsible for the baby, and then eventually, when that kid was old enough, he had to pay child support.
That's bad. When that happens, you sort of like feel for them. It's no fault of their own. Again, that dude who's just had a random name written down, and now he's liable in legal sense to be the father of the child when he really is not. That stuff is wild to me. For anyone to just say, yeah, this is okay, this is good and well, that is enough to say, okay, you know what, screw this. I am out. I am exiting. I don't want to play. I don't want to wait my turn again. I'm just completely out of it. That stuff blows my mind.
Yeah, because literally, as a man that told to the judge in the face, I've never seen this. I don't know who she is. That's not my kid. I don't know who. I've never seen her in my life. Doesn't matter. Your name is on a birth certificate. Like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? See, which is why wise men learn from other men's mistakes.
I mean,
or
but at this point,
situations.
God, but at this point, it's like you can't let anyone know your name.
Yep. Well, not
because
any.
apparently fucking signature forgery doesn't matter. It's like, she drew the eyes in my name with a little heart. I never do that. Look at all these signatures I have. Doesn't matter. Your name's on it. Like,
Yep.
motherfucker, you know what? What's your name? I'm gonna go write some fucking checks.
Yep. Then come back to me.
But there's another situation that happened around last month where I made a video calling out all feminists with the Ukraine and Russia situation, where I said your ideology is a joke. It is pathetic, to the point where I know there was a bunch of feminists in Ukraine. I know for a fact. But when things gone crazy, the women had the choice to stay and fight or run away. Literally 99.999% of them ran away. Whoever was able-bodied, literally all of them ran off except for like one or two women that stayed and fight. Except on the other hand, young men from 18 to elderly men, 60 years old, were forced to fight and die. Forced.
Yeah. Yep. Weren't allowed to leave. Had to stay there.
I'm like, what happened? What happened to this equality they were speaking of? Like, where y'all going? Where are you going?
Isn't that the saying, there are no feminists in a house fire? Bill Burr does a great bit. Is like, you can find like the most feminist, most aggressive, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, and then as soon as a fire breaks out, I'm just a girl. I don't know what I'm doing.
I just played jump rope.
Exactly right. Yeah, you know the skit, and it is true. Look at them; they all left. And they want to say, "Oh, the Ukrainian army has the highest number of females participating in it." Yeah, but are they on the front lines loading rifles? Lobbing grenades, or are they there doing supplies or working inside bases and places like that? It's one thing to be a part of the military. It's another thing to be actually out on the front lines.
Exactly. And if you're part of the military, man or woman, you're staying and fighting. That's what you sign up for. It is what it is. But if Ukraine should be a volunteer military, I think. But the civilian part, seriously, all male civilians 18 to 60, you can't leave, pick up a gun. You're probably gonna die a horrible death, but hey, it's for Ukraine, right? Like, no, the fuck. I want to get out of here.
I'm not playing that. Screw it. I'm not dying for your bullshit, man. If I'm gonna go out there and fight, ladies gotta be out there by my side as well. It's like, nah, they're on the way out. They're going to different European countries. They're making their way across. They're fleeing or whatever. It's like, well, I want to flee too. No, you have to stay. What kind of bullshit law is that? And then people want to say there's no double standards. Like, you want to complain and say that there's so many men in the corporate world out there and we can't get by and it's sexist and misogynist, blah, 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 because it's a nice job to have. The air conditioning is there. The coffee machine is there. You want that. You want to be a part of that. But to say, I want to go fight for my country and save and preserve what we've got here, nah, screw that. Let the guys do it, because men disposable. They're Hillary Clinton. Women are the primary victims of war. Let's move that nonsense, man. Yeah, never mind the guys that have died out there for you to still be alive, but you're the victim. Okay.
Yep. And I'm sure I don't know if it happens in Australia, because once again, I don't know much about the Australian military, but when it comes to the US, anytime there's a deployment, like a major deployment to various countries, all of a sudden the majority of women within the unit becomes pregnant. Like, what a coincidence.
How do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Quick.
I'm just saying, when World War III kicks off, I really do hope that when the draft is implemented and these women try to get pregnant, I hope they say, wait, hold up. You said it was just a clump of cells. That's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So go over to that abortion dude over there. He'll, pop you with some pills or whatever, and grab that weapon.
Get it out. Pick up the rifle and make your way out there, ladies. Let's go.
You can't do this to me. Yeah, I can. Equality.
Yeah, you wanted equality. This is equality, but no, it's only equality when it suits them. And anyone who's got half a brain cell can see the nonsense that they try and pull out there. So yeah, they'll keep telling you that, yeah, it's for the greater good. Men have it too easy. Women need more of this and more of that. It's that old thing again. I don't see women campaigning to be welders. I don't see women campaigning to be garbage men or garbage women. No pun intended. I don't see women going out there to say, "Oh, we need to be out on the roads, fixing telecommunications and digging holes and fixing piping and all that sort of stuff." They want all the good jobs. They want the jobs of power, so they can go in there and throw in their own ideologies and change it up. Because as you've seen now, like I've seen it in your neck of the woods, especially like the education with like the K to 1 or whatever it is, and then the primary schools and everything else is in there, and everyone's just throwing in like feminist leftist ideologies. And I saw a video. I don't know if it's true or not. On the internet, you can't really take everything verbatim these days because you don't know what's true and what isn't. But I saw a video posted on Libs of TikTok, and it was a group of ladies who I think were teachers, and they were having their own little mini pride parade with like their 5, 6, 7-year-old kids. And I'm thinking to myself, are these women serious? Are they missing a few screws in their head of theirs, or what? Like, this is what's being taught to kids out there.
Like, let's be honest, that's the insanity of the modern world.
Yeah.
Is that if you were to put that out there 20 years ago, people would say that's absolutely fake. Nowadays, you're like, there's a decent chance that actually happened.
That's why there's doubt in my mind. That's why I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This sounds like it could be legitimate. So I might sway on the 51% that it is true. And you see it, and you just got to say to yourself, how is this even a thing? How will we come to a point where Idiocracy, which was released in the mid to late 2000s, was a mockumentary, style of movie where they just made fun of the future, and yet we sort of seem to be living in it in a way.
It's no, wild. Honestly, we've gone beyond Idiocracy. Idiocracy still knew the difference between a man and a woman.
True. Yep. I mean, Terry Crews up there, telling everyone that they're running out of chicken and all sorts of other things. Like, it's almost as bad as today with food shortages and things like that. But yeah, at least he knew the difference, or what was a woman, so he must be a biologist.
Yep. At this point, it's beyond anything that we could possibly imagine. The only thing that we are able to describe our current situation is it's a giant Barbie house, or it's a clown world, or it's a Twilight Zone. We try to describe it as something that, how did it get to the point where the inmates took over the asylum type situation? Like
that's the thing. It's not that the inmates took over the asylum. It's the inmates became middle management.
Yeah, they let them in.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the heads of the asylum were like, why don't we just let the crazy people run around and play house with everyone else in the asylum, and we're just going to do all the other shit, and they won't, and the people at the bottom who we're actually fucking with won't be able to do shit to stop us.
But in my opinion, society got too comfortable, and thanks to us, right? And women believe that men are obsolete, even though technically we still run and maintain society as a whole. Mm-hmm. And you see what happens when women, they have a taste of how do I say, the freedom to do what they want, freedom of choice. But now you see with that freedom, a lot of the cases turns to self-destructive behavior. And yeah, I'm going all religious on you guys, but I'm just saying that if what we're saying or similar phrases were mentioned over 2,000 years ago in the holy books, maybe there's a reason why.
Mm-hmm. It might have been onto something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but once we starting to change up phrases and change up, the words, or take out religion completely from society, you see the results. Because a lot of the people that's liberal and or part of the alphabet community or whatever they want to call themselves. They're not really religious, so don't believe in religion at all. So
Yeah.
Now, that's actually a fascinating aspect. Again, I've been doing a bit of reading lately and looking more into kind of the older world stuff. And now, okay, so let's just looking at religion for a second. Religion often promises some sort of reward for living a good life after you die, correct?
correct.
However, you look even further back, you can find that, and even if we look at it now, you follow the religious scripture, it doesn't necessarily lead to goodness only after you die. It leads to rewards while you're still alive.
That makes sense. You
Like
got
we
to live
look at,
it. Yeah.
like I said, we look at all these people now who are directly going against scripture. They're not happy. They're fucking miserable.
It's like
I
too much
agree.
freedom. Too much freedom is sort of like it's that what do they call it? The paradox of choice or option or something to that effect. Like the more choice you have, the more options you have. You don't know what to pick, you don't know what to choose, or you've chosen so much that you're not satisfied with anything that you've chosen or haven't. So you're sort of like stuck in a way. Whereas if you have like a structure or some sort of regimen to go off there, and you sort of know what's expected of you, you sort of have a direction to go towards. And it could be that, it could be just it could be a free-for-all, that there's no more rules in the game, everyone's just doing whatever they want and making dumb decisions, and then later in life regretting them, and then saying to themselves, well, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have been able to have chosen that in the past. Maybe someone should have actually stepped in and said, no, you're not allowed to do this, and that is that.
Well, that was the thing. When you had this kind of like structure, religious script, and it was at least commonly known by people, you essentially had the wisdom of the past. A bunch of people that had said, hey, I fucked up. Here's how I fucked up. Don't do what I did, and you won't be as fucked up. Now it's like, you know what? We're the new generation. We're going to ignore every lesson that the past has to teach, and we're going to do whatever the fuck we want 10 years later. Why am I fucking miserable?
Yeah, well, I wonder what it could be.
But that's the thing. Like, there's the question of how much of religion very much pushed the reward to the afterlife on purpose as kind of a stepping stone, because instead of being like, oh, you follow the scripture and you will be rewarded in the near future, to you follow the scripture and you will be rewarded after you're dead, to it doesn't matter what happens after you die, so do whatever you want.
Yep, atheism.
Well, funny enough, I consider myself an atheist, but I don't do any of that sort of stuff. I still believe that there is things that you should adhere to in this world, in this life, because you can't do a free for all. Like if I was, what do they call it? Is it New Atheist or Atheist Plus or whatever the hell that crap was a few years ago, which like filtered itself into the progressivism and all that sort of shit. I'm just like, that stuff's nonsense. Like I still have respect, and I still implore people to be religious and do what they do. Like same with me, like my ex of Islam, me atheist, like I'm born Christian Orthodox, just over the years, just sort of like grew out of it. It's not my thing, but I have religious friends and I don't begrudge them of anything. But you have others who will be out there and say, why do you follow this? You shouldn't. You should be able to do whatever you want. You shouldn't have to follow your religious book of relevance or whatever it is that you're following. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm thinking, no, if that works for them, let them do it. That is their own thing. Why would you want to come in and cut someone else off because you think you have it better? You can give them your ideas, your views. At the end of the day, it's down for them to choose. And I just don't see why some people have gone so far off the cliff. They're almost like they've basically fallen over, and there is no meaning whatsoever to their lives or anything that they do. I still think you still need to have some sort of relevance to some sort of what's what I'm looking for? Like religious structure in a way. You still need rules for life in place, I think.
Yeah, me and my close friend of mine, we had a huge conversation like for hours about this, saying that the argument was pretty much based on could people have morality without religion?
Well,
Is
I think
that
that's
is that
an
even possible?
interesting question because, like, then you have to get into the definition of what is religion and what separates that from philosophy or a set of rules.
Mm.
Like,
But
do you necessarily need there to be some divine sentience that writes the rules down in order for it to be a religion specifically?
Oh,
it
okay. Okay.
depend. Okay, we'll have this on a different live stream because this will go on for a long time. Because believe me, the conversation I had with my friend, it went on for a long time.
It went into a
So
rabbit hole.
yeah, we will definitely talk about that in the near future, Gray. I'm actually, you know what? I'm writing notes down after this live stream. But Nixon talks. So you outside looking in when it comes to the how do I say the core values of MGTOW or the Warband. Do you perceive us as hating women?
Hell no. Hell no. Not a chance. No, no, in no way whatsoever. Because we're not out here outly saying, like, F these women, screw them, not worth your time, they're nothing but blah, blah, blah. Because you still want one at the end of the day. You still have to live with them. You still have to, make do with people you're around. There are lots of people that I probably don't like in this world, but to say I hate them or I find them in a way detrimental, I wouldn't say so. But as I said, if you're constantly involved in something and you keep complaining about it, that's where it can probably lead to a sort of like hate or toxicity, to use a buzzword of today. But if you opt out and you say, well, this isn't for me, I'm out of here, then you can't really say you're hating them because you're not in a position to even be fronted by them. So, no, I don't see the Warband or anyone as hating women as much as feminists that want to say they hate men. It's like, do you really hate men or you just don't like men because you can't get what you want out of them? They could
Yep.
be one of those things.
Like what Alpha Stash said, accountability isn't hatred, but to a narcissist, it is.
Well, that actually bounces off the point. So, Nixon, would you say, like, who hates women more? Those that hold them accountable or those who refuse to hold them accountable?
Ooh, good question. I've always been the one to hold my friends accountable or anyone because I care for them to not see them go down the wrong path or see them do something bad. So I'd probably say the ones who don't, because if you did care about someone, you'd tell them where their wrongs are. You'd say, look, this is what's happening. We want you to better yourselves because we care for you. We don't want you going down the bad path. We don't want you to ruin your lives or whatever. So this is what I would advise, or this is my opinion on X. Whereas if you just say to someone, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. It's fine. It's all good. Not a problem. Not a problem. When you can see it's not really helping them in a way, I'd probably say you're not really caring for that person's well-being.
Then, in an irony, we'd both agree that feminism actually hates women.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ask a man if a woman should be a mother or a stay-at-home mother or a career woman, and they'll probably give you like, well, be a stay-at-home mother, but she can do whatever she wants. That's fine. Ask a feminist if a female should be. They most likely would be screeching like, why should she have to stay home and be a mother? Why shouldn't she be out there earning her money? Why shouldn't she be out there doing her thing and living her life? Why should she have to be there and cater to a man? It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You wanted the choice. Your whole thing was about choice. She made a choice. Now you're disagreeing with her choice? Are you a woman hater?
Yep. And another example, which especially men and male feminists and feminists, they like to throw it at men's face of wanting younger women. They say that, oh, women should be free to choose whoever they have sex with. They can have sex with whoever they want, whenever they please. This is empowering. This is liberation. But when a man's like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind, getting with a 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, which there are at the age of consent. whether they
Mhm.
choose to have sex with you or not. Because once again, women are the gatekeepers of sex. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yep.
choose who they want to have sex with or not. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know the exceptions, but what about the bad guys? Yeah, I know about the bad guys. I'm talking about when there's consent involved, women are the gatekeepers when it comes to sexy time. Okay. Men are the gatekeepers of relationships. We choose who we stay committed to or not. Women don't have to give us sex. We don't have to stay around and share resources with a woman. We can just up and walk away. What is she gonna do?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's the two big differences. But how people were going out there under chronic yesterday, when it comes to wanting younger women, it's absurd. But at the same time, these cougars all the time saying, "Oh yeah, I got these 18, 20-year-old young men all up on me. Yeah, I'm that bitch.
Mhm.
I'm that chick. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm 35, 40. I still got it." I'm like, okay, but when this woman, which you say that women should have the right to choose, when she makes a choice of messing with an older man, why is it different? Is it because this man is traditional now? What's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
yeah. Sorry. Go.
yeah, well, like if an 18-year-old virgin decides I want to be a wife and mother and only have sex with one man my entire life, it's the feminists that are the first ones to jump down her throat.
Yeah, not men. It's literally the feminists.
It's funny though because again I see this week in week out in the nightclub scene. You know, when I'm behind the decks and whatever, and you see the ladies walk in with their groups, and you know what? Most of the time, if I see a bunch of women out and they're single and they're drinking, out together and they're drinking, I would imagine they're single or divorced or maybe cougars, you know, past the age of 35, 40. And you'll always see them flirting with guys that are obviously younger than them, and you'll see one or two of them hook up with a few gentlemen throughout the night. If you flip it and you see a young woman and she's interested or flirting with an older man, and you see that happening, all of a sudden it's like your detector goes off and saying, "Oh, something must be going on there." It's funny though because we laud ladies, or society does anyways, when we see them hook up with the younger man. Like look at Jada Pinkett Smith and that Augusta fella, like her son's friend or whatever, like that
Yeah,
affair
I
that they
remember that
had.
one.
Guys, she was like 40, 47, 48, and she's having an affair with a 20-something-year-old. I was trying to find myself. He made me feel good, and everyone just like, well, that's fine. I don't see any problems there. But if you flip it and you say, well, Will Smith, 48, 49 years old, had an affair with, you know, a
20.
21-year-old or whatever, it's like, oh, Will Smith, he coerced her. Oh, he manipulated her, and he done this and he done that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, what are you saying then about the women? Are you saying that they're retarded and they don't know how to make their own decisions after the age of 21? Because if a man is meant to be his own person, and if he's making decisions after 21, are you going to be saying to them, "Well, that man is just way too young to be making those sort of decisions to hook up with that older woman"? No, you're going to say, "Well, she's still got it. She's still sexy. Look at her go. She's still doing her thing." And it's sort of like we've romanticized the notion of the older lady hooking up with the younger man, like from the American Pie days with like Stifler's mom and those sorts of things there. And it very much has become a thing. I mean, if you look at the ladies today and with the divorce rates out there, and I said this prior, I can't remember if I've said it on a stream or to a friend of mine, a lot of ladies that I see today in their 30s and 40s partying nonstop, they were married young, they divorced, I don't know what happened, whatever reason, and it's now they're like catching up for years that they missed out on. So they're slaying every week and some new young rooster to bounce around on every weekend because they didn't get to do that for 10, 15 years, but now they're free and they can. And because I personally believe men who are in their maybe early mid 20s find it a little bit harder to get with women their same age, but the older women, they are easier because the older women, they know they're older women. They don't have what it takes to compete with a ripe 21 to 24-year-old when they're 35 plus. So the easiest thing is go in there, get a hookup, start a conversation, and you'll get it any which way you want. So men are probably thinking, well, why would I waste my time with a girl my age, struggling, spending money on dates, trying to get her to go out with me, or whatever, when this older lady is there and she's willing and ready to go. So, what's the the path of least resistance?
Well, it's quite simple in that regard. A woman peaks at 18, because that's when she's at her highest value.
Mm-hmm.
A man peaks at 50 because that's his highest value, typically his highest earning value. So if you look at, a woman over 35, yeah, she's severely on the decline. She's a low value woman. So she's going to find her match in a lower value man, one who's in his late teens, early 20s, maybe early 30s, depending on how badly he's fucked up. So it's kind of a match where they're finding their level at that point. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these guys in their early 20s, like this 30-plus-year-old woman is probably the most positive attention they've gotten from a female their entire lives. And they'll end up committing to that woman and fucking up their entire future, stunting their growth. When if they were patient for another 10, 15 years, then the 18 to 20-year-olds would be all over them.
Yeah, it's a better way of explaining what I try to explain with the men in their 20s not getting anything from the ladies their own age. So yeah, the attention is there. It's like, hey, this is awesome. This woman's into me. Yeah, I'll get with her. And if that's a long-term trajectory, that's a bad outcome in my opinion. Man, if you're there just to get yourself a bit of fun time, whatever, that's your choice. But anyone who goes into that in a long-term sense, especially with the woman with that sort of an age difference, that's got problems written all over it.
Well,
Hey guys,
the thing is,
give me 1 second. I want to read this one right quick. Sexual market value peaks at you for men too. You're comparing apples and oranges here. See, let me explain. What men want and what women want are completely different. Okay, once again, men and women are not the same. So when I say that is, a man looks for a young, fertile, attractive woman that hasn't been on the carousel. She's a virgin. That is her peak right there. She will get the most valuable men if she's able to meet those criteria. But when it comes to women, yeah, women do look at looks, but at the same time, their priority is more with resources, status, power, respect. That's what they're looking for. Okay. That's why when a man's looks doesn't even fade as a woman, right? Because once again, women age like milk, men age like fine wine. All right, especially if they're able to keep up with their exercises and eat clean for the most part. But what a woman looks more above all is money, power, respect, status. Do you guys agree or disagree? Because
it goes even beyond that. Men enter puberty after women. By default, a man is always going to be older than a woman of equal maturity biologically.
Right. And men and women, what's it called? A woman is not going to be looking at a man solely for his looks unless she's like 18, 19, and she just want to fuck.
Well, okay? And that's the thing. Like a woman at 18, 19, she's going to be going for the chads. There's always going to be like the high value Chad from freaking 16 plus. Yeah. It's just they're a very small minority, but they're also by and large broke. And the lack of ability to provide resources, we're no longer in the hunter-gatherer age where the strongest, most virile male could hunt the biggest animals. No, we live in a society that makes wealth something you accumulate over decades.
Yep.
So heck, wouldn't be that 50 used to be really fucking old, almost ancient. It's only in modern days that this has been extended out.
And for thousands of years, wealth played a big part when it comes to women's attraction, because once again, when we talk about, sexual market value or what men and women want in general, it's for long term situations. Okay. Not just a one night stand. Of course, if it's just a one night stand, we're only going to be looking at looks. Okay,
Well,
cool.
and then there's fertility beyond that. A man can produce valid children, well beyond 50. A
Well
woman
beyond.
like 40 is dangerous. Beyond 30 is risky.
So, with that being said, a man's sexual market value is measured differently than a woman's, because when it comes to a man, it's not just about looks. What do you have to say about that, Nixon?
Yeah, looks are. I think I get where Vital is coming from a look standpoint, but like, yeah, I agree. That's probably from like an initial let's hook up sort of like aspect of things. I think looks are women do look for looks in men, in the younger men especially, but when they get older, and some men also do have their own wall per se where they'll hit it.
The
It
looks,
doesn't
yeah.
happen often. Doesn't happen often, but I get it. But yeah, later on in life, the money, the status, that sort of starts to play into it when, especially if ladies are getting into their late 20s and early 30s, and then they're thinking to themselves, okay, well, what am I looking for now? That's where they'll probably go and look for the guy who's got it all happening for him, because he doesn't need to work anymore. He's established himself, and now it's just routine for him. Whereas the younger dudes who are good looking and do get their waves crashing at night or whatever, they're the ones who are there. But as you said, they don't really have anything going for them apart from their looks. So from a short-term thing, yeah, they'll go for the looks. From a long-term thing, that's when they'll maybe switch it over and start to look for someone who's maybe not as good looking, but they've got something back in them. Same way, in a way, men will probably say, you know what, I'd rather the average, 5'6", adjustable 6 maybe, than the super hot 9 or 10, because the adjustable one is going to be easier to be with, and she's not going to make your life a living hell.
Yep. And when it comes to a man's sexual market value, it is crucial for him to produce as much as possible. Why do you think women won't even look at you if you don't hit a certain income? Yeah, they might look at you initially because of your attractiveness, but once they hear your occupation or what you have in your bank account, she's already long gone. It doesn't. She,
Not necessarily.
wait. I'm talking about if she's looking for a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
If she sees, if she hears about your bank account, if she hears about your job, and it doesn't meet her delusional standards that the average woman has today, she's already looking somewhere else. You already crossed off that list because she already has countless other options to look at in the first place.
Well, now there's actually a bit of an interesting question.
What's up?
Does a woman even look for a long-term relationship aside from a desire for secure resources?
No, unless she came from a good family with core, and she was beat on, like, her, the shit was beating on her head constantly about core values and what's important to her long term, especially religion. Then she will contemplate long term values from the start. But if she came from a modern family, such like in the West, no, not even close. That won't even cross her mind if she wasn't instilled the priorities that she should been taught growing up. So yeah, short term while she's young, getting married is out of the question today. She's not even trying to she's trying to fuck a lot.
So would it make sense to say that in the absence of training, a woman will, with an abundance of resources, not seek to secure a long-term relationship?
So you're talking about, like, for example, OnlyFans girl?
Well, that's the thing. An OnlyFans girl, I imagine if an OnlyFans girl, it never dried up. Like, a woman never got any older and she could maintain the resource income of her youth, basically right up until she died.
No, then she will never, because based on what we can do in society that she doesn't need men for, she definitely won't. She'll never contemplate marriage
Yeah,
because
there'll be no need. There'll be no need.
yeah, everything else is already done for her in place of a man. So
That makes sense.
as long as she can still secure the bag and pay for everything, yeah, that's when she can truly say men are obsolete.
Yeah, as
So
long
then,
as
yes, Nixon, you go first.
no, sorry, I was going to say, so long as there's money coming in and they don't have to rely on anyone, they're all good about it. But as soon as the looks, as we said, if looks weren't a factor, that they would do it. There's no doubt at all they wouldn't. What's that model? That 50-something-year-old model who I think it was an article a few months ago now said, I used to have heads turning every time I walked into a room. Now nobody looks at me and it makes me sad. It's like, well, that's what happens when you've based your life around your own looks and nothing else going for you. So you need to have something. And if looks are never going to fade for you, there is no need for you to have the attention of one man. You'll have the attention of many men, and you won't need to be with someone permanently to live a life with things provided for you, with security and everything like that.
So then what we might be able to say is that for there to be stable, long-term relationships between men and women, it is required that women be experiencing resource scarcity.
Not having enough around them in order for them to realize, hey, I can't do this my own. I need someone else with me. But then again, is that just going to have a woman find a man who is who's going to just be there to be her cash cow? Like, does she quote unquote really love him? And if that's even a thing these days. But I think you said it earlier, like women would probably just marry just for the security. There's no love in there whatsoever.
No,
But that's the thing. Like, do women even really love men ever?
No. That's a made up social construct.
Well, that's I want to hear like kind of Nixon's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to go in too. Okay, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky question. Well, how much can someone love someone before they say, you're not the person I fell in love with, or yeah, this isn't working out for me anymore, I need a change, I feel restricted, etc., blah blah blah. Are women playing the long stroke game just to get the most out of the guys they're with, or is there maybe some mythical love involved in it all? I don't doubt there are some ladies out there who do genuinely love the men that they're with, and they want to do things for them and be with them because they do, they do, to use a wankery, cheesy term, cherish them in a way. But again, there's no guarantee that that's going to last forever. So you either, you play your cards, you lay them out on the table, you see what's dealt. And I mean, if you get the full house, then good on you. But if you if you get nothing and you flunk out, well, what are you going to do then? You're back to square one. But she loved me. She said she loved me. She did this. She did that. A man could change his perspective on that as well.
Well, no, let me give you an example then, as like male versus female. So do you remember the Dark Knight shooting?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There were several men there who died protecting their girlfriends, even though they'd only known each other for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever known a woman who died to save her man's life?
Nah, not that I know of. No chance.
So then, is it fair to equate male love to female love?
No, in that sense, no, because we will still, say, oh, there's a female involved, I need to step in and make sure she doesn't get hurt. I think that's probably inherent in all of us in a way, because it's probably ingrained, through the millennia, through those old hunter-gatherer generations where we need to protect the females because they're the way our tribe will survive through kids and new generations coming through, and it's been put through in today's society. But if you want to go back to the whole equality thing, where are the ladies out there stepping up for men's sacrifices and men's lives out there? It's not going to happen. It's probably something that we're just made a habit of. But I agree to your point there. Yeah, men's love is not the same as women's love.
Yep. Men, we love idealistically, women love opportunistically. So women, they will love as long as there's something for her in that relationship. Once she can't get what she wants from you anymore, she will her hypergamy will kick in and go somewhere else. A man's love is sacrifice. A man is willing to do what he needs to do in order to keep his relationship or family intact. Uh, when it comes to the laws, the marriage laws, and the family court laws being against men from all angles, women they know that they're taking advantage of that to a T. To a T. Um, of men are like, oh, no, she loves me for me. Let's go ahead and go to the altar, blah blah blah. And she's already thinking about how many trips she's going to be taking to Cancun with his money.
If that's the lady that he chose, then that's on him, man. Like that whole hypergamy thing. I don't know. Maybe it is. A lot of people like to think that's a Rollo Tomasi thing. He's on that whole hypergamy side of things, and I think other people's are as well. Which, in some aspects, you can probably say, yeah, there is something to it. But if they're really looking at making all these trips to Cancun or whatever, they're gonna have to be with someone who's making more than enough money to facilitate that. And if they're not, then I don't know. Maybe they're asking for too much, and they're going to end up being the ones who will say, well, you're not providing enough. You can't do enough for me. We're barely surviving. I want to go on trips. I want to go here. I want to go there. It's like, woman, we're trying to make do with life here. I'm not here to go to Cancun or go to these other places or pay for you to go as well.
Which is why the modern women have such unrealistic standards when it comes to income. Even below average women, they're saying, I want a man that makes 6 figures or higher. Hell, I saw a video a couple of days ago of a woman saying that in order for a man to be in her DMs, he needs to be making at least 500 grand or more. Like what?
Yeah, the crazy demands that some ladies have out there for men. And you know what? If someone is going to go out there and say, yeah, I'll take you on board, then that's on him. That's his own thing. If he really thinks that's going to be the best he can get, or if that's what he's looking for, that's him. That's all him. I don't care for him.
I'm actually going to plug in to the female delusion calculator, like every setting except for 100K income. Because I'm curious here, what is it for 100K? 16.9%. Not as bad as I thought. So about a 1 in 5, 1 in 6 chance of getting a man that's got 100K or more.
Is it just men or is it all people?
U.S. male population ages 18 to 85, no race standard, no weight standard, no marriage standard. Like the only thing, how many men in the U.S. make 100K or more? Apparently 16.9%.
Okay. So if we want to cut down that percentage dramatically, only men that is 6 foot as well.
I'm thinking like only guys who can afford to Cancun, but fine, let's pop in 6 foot here. let's get down to single digit percentages, shall we?
Yeah, and what you just read is a good indication on why the 2080
5%.
Whoa.
2.5%.
Oh my god. See how small it is? That's why the 2080, the 80-20 rule exists. Hell, it's probably at this point 595.
But the 80-20 rule is just over 100K. This is 97%.
Yeah, it's very bad, and there's women out there that are willing to die alone.
Now let me see what happens if I. I'm sorry, I just want to see what happens if I exclude obese.
Okay.
1.3%.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
So based on what you heard Grace saying, and your own experience, because you said that you were a DJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
say my point is women are willing to share an above average man or Chad Tyrone. They're willing to share Chad Tyrone or a rich man than to settle with a average man.
in a long term sense, maybe. Again, short term, I think ladies, let's be real, ladies find it much easier to get with a guy out there these days. I mean, there are gentlemen out there who will go out and pull a woman, no problems whatsoever.
Yeah,
They're using their looks, they're using their status, they're maybe the way they talk to ladies is appealing to them. But I think first and foremost, your appearance is your main attraction cue, because without you looking good, well, what's the lady going to see in you in a way? And then after that, what happens after that? Your social skills, how you talk to them, communicate, all those sorts of things. That's either confirms or backtracks her initial thoughts of you. Short term, they'll probably share a guy around. I don't see any problem with that, because I've probably been that dude that's been with a few different ladies in a circle of friends, and maybe they've spoken about me in their own little DM conversations. I don't know. Sounds like a very female thing to do, but that's whatever. I'm not saying I'm high value. I'm an average Joe. I'm a nobody in that respect. So don't think I'm classifying myself in that sense there. But if they're looking to share a dude around long term, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of that to say yes or no. You
right.
do hear ladies who will be married to one dude and getting with another guy outside of their marriage, but to share one dude in a marriage, is that what you're asking?
Uh, pretty much like not just a marriage, but just a relationship in general. So if a man is saying he has his main chick, but she knows that he's not going to be faithful, but he's the top dog. Let's say like a professional athlete.
Well, like, I guess to simplify it, would you agree with the statement women would rather share a winner than have exclusivity of a loser?
Pretty
I
much.
think I think every woman wants a winner out there. I don't think many women want a loser. If we're looking at what they have to offer, then yeah, no one wants to be with a guy in one particular way in a long-term sense if they don't have anything else to offer them. Because, as I said, woman could just message any random dude in their phone and he'll be over in 30 minutes. Or your pizza's free for a bit of hot action. So for a long-term sense, probably.
Okay. So hypothetical question. So at least in my opinion, feminism failed. Feminism is cancer to society, and you can look around and see what's happening. Um, what would you? Well, hypothetically, what would you do to correct this situation if you had the power?
I have no idea. Where would you start? Really, that's probably the question. That's a good point. How would you rectify it? What would you do to change the situation? I don't know.
For
I don't even know
me,
how to begin to answer that.
social media would be a big thing.
Or social
Uh,
media has really skewed ladies' perceptions of reality, and I say this all the time, even with little videos I do as well. Ladies complaining. There was one chick who decided to quit online dating apps and some form of social media. She was on TikTok. She went out in Chicago, I think, looking to meet new people, and she went to 3 different locations. No one apparently approached her, but we don't know the inner workings. We don't know what she was looking for. We don't know what she was doing. We don't know the types of people that were there. And then she ended up going home crying to her camera, saying, like, I thought I was actually going to meet people out there. And I made the point of saying this is what social media has ingrained on people, in this particular case women, because they're used to having constant likes and comments on social media posts, making matches on dating apps. But in the real world, it's not like that. You actually have to approach someone, you actually have to open your mouth and speak. And when they're not doing that, you're thinking to yourself, wow, this isn't what I expected life to be. But that's what life is for a lot of people, unfortunately. In the real world, it's not social media. You don't walk up to someone and acknowledge them, and that's a like or a comment in your book. You actually have to communicate with them.
I agree, and I hold both men and women accountable when they complain about oh no, it's not working, the relationship thing. I'm like, okay, have you bothered to go up and talk to them? No, not really. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
exactly
you know,
right.
Well,
uh,
this is the funny thing with feminism. If you want to end feminism, you have to end the power structure, because the existing power structure is what builds and supports feminism.
yep. So that's what you'll do. Dismantle the courts and the laws and all that crazy shit.
Quite frankly, I'm just going to wait till the money runs out and it will collapse of its own accord.
Who's gonna
Yeah,
pay for my
before
baby?
yeah. The state ain't gonna do it anymore.
Like when everyone's starving and like it's been 4 days since the last truck went to town, yeah, people are going to go apeshit and feminism is going to disappear.
Yep, similar situation that happened in Ukraine, but let's actually no. I think it would be just as violent.
It depends how many guns are in the area.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm in the States. We got a lot of guns here.
Yeah,
What's a gun? What's a gun? What's that? I don't know.
What that is.
it's the loud banging thing you hold in your hand that isn't fireworks.
Yeah,
I think the cops might have 2 of them between every police station in Australia.
Oh, they got plenty of weapons. Don't worry about that. It's the drug runners and the little gangs that still have the weapons out there. There is still a lot of weapons circulating around the place. It's just you can still legally own them, but it's very restricted. You can only take them out for hunting and things like that. I mean, I remember a day where my grandfather would have like a little pellet rifle he would keep behind his bedroom door, and he'd use it for the birds attacking his garden in the mid-90s. So that was the last I remember of that.
I gotta read this right quick. Tony Bruno, get your ticket to the CME. I hope you reveal.
Yes, $5,000 for my 2-hour panel session.
Shout out to Tony Bruno out there. Tony's all right. Tony's good. Shout out to him. Yes, yeah. Join the CME, guys. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have lots of guys out there. They're gonna drop some hard truths. Dude, you're not gonna want to miss this.
Just make sure you make 2 installment plans of $2,000, and make sure you get the exclusive VIP ticket for an extra $2,000, and you need to pay for my lunch.
Yep.
Like,
and
what?
You can have your own photo taken with me and my hot hard 9 girlfriend. Oh yeah, you better believe it.
That I totally didn't pay for the weekend for. By the way, I'm $5,000 in debt, so y'all better fucking show.
But
That's
hey,
funny.
Nixon, another question for you.
Yes, sir.
Since once again, I know you're not part of the red pill philosophy, MGTOW, any philosophy, right? But based on your experience, could you explain an example of a red pill moment for you?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I think I've mentioned this prior too, but way back when in 2014, I think it was, my one of my friends close to me was having conversations with I wouldn't really consider her an ex. Like, we dated for like a couple of months. I don't know if that's considered a boyfriend girlfriend. For some people it might be, for others it'd just be like a bit of a fling. So I'll just say ex for this particular point here. But way back in 2006, 7, I think it was, or 7, 8, something like that. I'm 33, mind you, so I'm going back to my late teens years. And back then we were seeing for each other for a couple of months. She was clingy as hell. It just annoyed the hell out of me, and I just ended it. And then some years later, we found ourselves together again in a circle, like through my gigs and things like that, and started befriending other people that I knew. And at the time when we were going out, she had a young sister who was, I think she's 5, 6 years younger than her or something like that.
Right.
Whatever it was, I can't remember, something like that. She's in her mid-20s now or something. Anyways, and we started going out again in a circle of friends, me just doing my own thing, and her sister started to get a little bit close to me. Anyways, closer and closer. We'd hang out. Snapchat was big back then. I'm at a gig. we're snapping each other back and forth. They were at another wedding, and then I was just having basically a conversation between her sister and myself, and then her sister, my quote unquote ex, says, like, all right, enough, you're annoying me, just add her on Snapchat yourself. I'm like, okay, so I did, not thinking anything of it. Come a couple of weeks later, where I'm going to visit her at work, grab a coffee. They would live near where my uncle and aunties live, so I'd go see my cousins, and I'd go there, and then one afternoon I drop her off at a friend's house, and then I go to kiss her on the cheek goodbye, me not thinking anything because dumb me, and she ends up kissing me, hooking up. I'm just like, okay, so that's where it's at. And then from there on in, it went for about a month or two. And unbeknownst to me, she had broken up with her boyfriend before that at the time, right? I found this out after. And we were hooking up, we were going out, all these sorts of things. And then at one point, she says to me, this has to end. And I'm thinking to myself, well, everything's going okay so far. Like, again, naive me. I'm like, what, 22, 23 at the time, something like that, maybe. I'm thinking like, why? Everything seems to be working out well. What's the go? And it's not possible. It's not going to happen. I need to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it annoyed me. Like, it annoys every dude when that sort of thing happens. A couple of weeks later, I discovered this thing called, a red pill. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is this? Because you ask questions like, why does a girl break up with you in a way? And I asked the question to the thread, and I said, well, this happened, we hooked up, then she said she ended it, and then apparently she had an ex or whatever, and then someone said you were just a rebound, she wasn't really into you, next her and move on. And it got me thinking. I'm like, okay, all the dots aligned. Shit, she actually did break up with an ex. I seem to be the it thing at the moment for her. Maybe there was, I don't know, some attraction there, whatever. And that month or two that it was on, and after that, and then she broke up, and then she went back to her ex after that. So that was my sort of like awakening in a way to think to myself, okay, ladies really do this sort of shit, and I've experienced it firsthand. So now I look into my past as well and realize how many other times I've messed up situations, because there have been quite a few, because you were just unawares to the situations. You didn't know what to look out for. You were not told, hey, these are the telltale signs of a chick who's into you. These are the telltale signs of a chick who's using you. These are the telltale signs of you not doing what you need to in this sort of sense. And it happens, man. And that's what happened. And that's basically what sort of got it going for me. And then from 2014 onwards, just more and more. And I really should have taken note from my side as a DJ, because you always have ladies approach you and they're always flirting with you. And, oh, can I take a photo? Can I pretend to DJ? Can you play this? Oh, I'll love you forever if you play this song for me. And now I'm just like, bitch, get the fuck out of my booth, man. I don't want you anywhere around me. Like, go twerk on the dance floor or some shit. And it happens. And over time, you just learn things and you pick up on different things. And some would say it's good to pick things up early, but in this case, it was better late than never, because if I didn't, who the hell knows where I would be right now.
Shit, probably have a baby mama with 3 kids and stuff.
That, man.
But
yes,
you had a lot better experience than I did, because I definitely went through the what you call the red pill rage. With my situation. I don't know if you did, but I did for 2 weeks. I heard people, they go through it for months. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go that far. I don't have the energy. 2 weeks for me, where I'm like, damn, everything that I've been taught since I've been born was a lie. Like, fuck. They told me to do everything that to get a girl, right? The blue pill talk. And I did everything by the book, and I still got burned. And then Sandman is like, haha, you got punked. I was like, shit.
Funny you said it. I would listen to Sandman's videos way back when. Was it 2016, 17, maybe something around there, if he's been around for that long. And I didn't really take it from like a MGTOW perspective. I just started to listen. Sorry to interrupt you there. Just you made the point of, okay, now I understand, he'd break down things, and he got me thinking on that sort of train of thought. So sorry, as you were.
No, it's all good. I've been watching him since 2014. I think that's when he started, 2014. And speaking of creators, right? So I believe that a lot of creators that does this type of content, they're doing it out of the warning men, giving men advice, the betterment of men, etc. I also believe there's channels out there that are not for men. Would you say the same, Nick?
Yeah, 100%. Yep, definitely. There are a lot of channels out there that do help. There are channels out there that claim to help, but with the added little extra of a hefty little fee, mind you, for certain services and procedures, if you will, and courses and all sorts of things. And they're the people that you sort of like question to yourself, okay, am I really getting something out of these guys if I pay this stupid amount of money for something that I've literally been hearing someone speak about for free on YouTube videos for the last couple of years? You know?
Yeah, I'm like all this information that you could have, because you these creators claim to have a whole library full of information. Yet, in order to access that, you gotta pay for Patreon, Subscribe Star, go on their website and pay for these multiple courses, $50 an hour or a minute phone call.
Yep.
Like what? No. The only time that I request for money is when I shill my PayPal. That's if they had the choice to donate to me, and it can be any donation. I don't care. As long as they're able to contribute to the channel and the Warband. You see all the cool art I have in my stream and stuff. It's all thanks to them, because personally, I believe the information that we're exchanging should be priceless. Okay, because the money I'm getting is for the art. It's not for the message. Since I refuse to show my face, I need a lot more cool art, so you don't look at the same thing over and over and over again. So,
Yeah.
but
And
it's what's that?
no, so finish your thought.
I was saying, like in the end, that's the core difference. Because some people they want to say, well, what about you? You ask for money. I'm like, donations. You
Yeah.
choose to give me money or not. If not, okay, you can just continue watching my content for free. It's all good.
Yeah. No, in this day, especially in the last couple of weeks, from what I've noticed, again, I this thing, I don't consider myself part of no manosphere. I'm not an RP or any pill creator or anything like that. I just talk about things I find interesting. I somehow find myself in this particular spot based on how I got to this particular spot. But all the same, I still find interest in it, and it still affects me because I am a male, and I do have certain issues and things like that, like every other male out there, that we all need to have discussed and rectified in a way. But when someone says, pay me X amount of dollars and I'll teach you how to get all the box in the world, is that really what your main goal is? When someone says, yeah, I'll speak to you and coach you at $50 a minute, is that really where you want to be in life? Like, would you not rather spend your money bettering your education, learning a trade, perhaps getting some actual valuable knowledge pumped into your brain, as opposed to paying someone who's going to apparently teach you how to get 8, 9, 10 dates in the space of 2 weeks and guaranteed to bed at least a couple of them? There's no guarantee in that crap, man.
I agree. And Tony got something to say again. You're a part of it now. There's only one way to leave.
Yeah, so you're in it now. Like, it is what it is. Like that's the thing. Like, whether I plan to or not, I'm a part of it in a way. And there's been, again, a lot of debates over the last few weeks. I've seen UC's had the whole John Anthony thing. Vital Message, Caduceus, he's also been having his back and forth with Alex from Playing with Fire on receipts and all these sorts of things. And it's almost like the dating coaches out there are trying to save face, because that's their money that we're sort of, when I say we, I mean like those who are against. Like, I'm not hardcore against them. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way and try and shut you down. But I would say to someone, man, you know what? I wouldn't pay it. Don't pay it. I'd rather you listen to, these guys for like a couple of hours, look at all the hundreds of hours of content on there, and then, you'll get the free info. Whereas you're paying money for something that you don't really need to.
But that's worse. Like, if you try to cancel them, at least they can play victim and say, "Ooh, look, they're trying to silence me. What I'm saying
it's like,
must be important."
Must be right. Yeah, exactly. It's correct. Look, help me. It's like,
Whereas if you say, "Hey, there's this information for free," it's like, "No, my money."
exactly. And I have to justify why you should be spending your hard-earned on them, why you should be telling, why they should be telling you rather what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. I mean, some guys just need basic communication skills. Some guys just need to tidy up their looks. Hit the gym
Yep.
a few days a week. Style your hair once in a while. Brush your teeth. Like this basic stuff that men need to know, but for some reason they don't do it, or they think it's too hard out there. When if you just change your looks in a little bit, it could go a damn long way. But no, you have to spend 500 thousands of dollars on dating coaches to teach you how to pick up women, and how to get 1,477 lays and banging hot babes and all these sorts of other nonsense, man. I find it entertaining and sad at the same time, to be honest.
Well, now, okay, okay, kind of got a couple questions that might be a little vague.
Mhm.
Would you, and this is for both Nixon and Sir Yeetus, would you describe a red pill moment as more burning or dissolving?
Burning in the sense of, of what, in what way?
Talking about like a feeling.
Yeah, like purely on an emotional level. Does it feel more like you're on fire or like you're being dissolved?
Oh, okay.
At first, on fire. At first, but then as you get more and more knowledge later on, it will eventually just become your daily dose of red pills. Just pop one or two in, and it will dissolve. But in the beginning, it's a fiery sensation of disappointment, anger, etc., of society lying to you, and your whole blue pill world is crashing down brick by brick the more you learn. So
yeah, I'd probably say if it's a new experience for you, if it's happened for the first time, it will be burning because you'll be seething inside. You'll say to yourself, okay, what the hell is going on here? Like that anger is real in a way. Maybe more so if you actually believe in that whole blue pill ideal. Because when it happens to you for the first time, it's a major shock. But if you had a bit of an inkling, a bit of a sense of, okay, maybe this isn't exactly what it is. Maybe it doesn't hit you as hard, and it puts that fire out rather than get it burning in a way. It depends on how you perceive your particular situation. At first, if it's happening for the first time, it is burning definitely. After that, then it just diffuses, it dissolves, and there's nothing really else to that.
okay, and
Richie's comment.
Yeah, all you care about is money. The management
All
deserves
you
a better.
care about is money. This man is here deserves a better class of red pill, and I'm gonna give it to them.
It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
Oh man,
for $3,000 an hour.
Hey, but the one thing I can promise everybody in the chat right now, whoever's listening, as long as I am on YouTube doing my thing with the Warband, you will never see me do a paywall. Strictly donations, because the message will become straight up disingenuous at that point, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't see why people do that to other men, because in my opinion, you're no different than these OnlyFans chicks.
Yeah, if you really want to help them out, you don't charge them for money. You're down on your luck. You don't have funds. No worries. Let me help you. Okay, this is my advice. Not pay up front. I don't have money. Take a loan out. I'm not helping you until you pay me. Are you really helping a man, or are you just trying to get money out of them?
Well, let's be honest. At least OnlyFans girls are A, cheaper, and B, they give guaranteed results.
That's true. That is true. 100%.
So, even though, see, once again, I know there's channels that do speak on red pill stuff, but they don't proclaim themselves as red pill. You'll be able to know, like, that they don't like outright saying, look what's happening to men in society, blah blah blah. They usually look at like a current event, and they explain it in a
Yeah.
way where it's like, yeah, but she did this wrong. He didn't do anything. Why is he getting prosecuted and she's not? Like, you can tell if you get what I'm saying, right? Like you can tell if that they're speaking red pill without speaking red pill.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm not anything like that. But if you can differentiate what's happening between a man and a woman, or if you can see what's gone on in a particular situation where it's come to, well, like as you just said, well, he didn't do this, but she didn't do that. So it's okay for her, but it's not okay for him. That's, bang, red pill drop, or whatever, like sort of a thing. It's funny though, because I think there are more men out there that actually see this sort of stuff that don't link it or have it connected to any sort of manosphere space. They just look at it as the reality or the truth of the situation. When they see these sort of conversations happening, they start saying to themselves, holy shit, there's actually more people out there that think like me. Oh, is this what the manosphere is? I thought it was men hating on women. It's like, no, you idiots. We're here discussing male things because where else can we discuss male things? I mean, men have their own meetings and places like that. And feminists like, what's his name? Fucking Big Red from back in the day would go and shut that shit down because, they're all sexist, misogynist, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so gentlemen, how are you feeling today? How's your progress been, through your divorce? How's your relationships been with your sons or that are teenagers that need their father in their lives? Apparently, this is so horrendous to these people that men need to be shut down out of their spaces.
Tony Bruno, the red pill is dead, hijacked by the roller pill. PUA is dead. Live your life, boyos. I agree. That's why I only speak of red pill as a philosophy in itself, such as every other male issue. I am Warband. That's all I am. I ain't part of the manosphere. I ain't part of none of that shit. It was cool. It was cool at first. It had its moment back in 2016, 17, around there. It was okay.
Well, the main issue is when you let the pill of whatever color you choose become your identity.
Right. That's when it becomes a very huge issue. It's like, what's a good example? I mean, a person that goes to the gym all the time, nonstop, and literally being a meathead is his personality, and he can't turn it off, and just be himself. That type of stuff, like it's too extreme. But when it comes to Nixon talks, so I've seen a good amount of your videos. So is it your content pretty much anything that you just want to speak about at the moment? No.
Well, I sort of came into this space from good old friends at Fresh and Fit on a random chance. That it was a random chance. I had no intention of it going anywhere. I just thought, like every other video I've done, I'm just gonna put my own 2 cents out there, and I'll get like 10 views on it, and it'll be done and dusted. I uploaded it, and I come back 2 hours later, and I've got 9+ notifications on my YouTube. I'm thinking, what the hell? And I see all these comments and shit like that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm that dude now. But I've always been speaking about those sorts of things. I've always come from it from that particular point of view because I didn't see any of it elsewhere, at least in the circles that I was around. And I've always been the person who just wants to talk about things like I'll talk about sports, I'll talk about news topics, social issues. Hell, I even talked about the Uncharted movie that I watched the other week and thought that was absolute trash. Like the way they massacred a great gaming series. Like everything is literally written there for them, and they absolutely tore it to shreds. Like you're casting Tom Holland, who's about $150, and you're expecting him to be like Nathan Drake, who's meant to be in his late 20s and at least 170, 180 pounds. Like, give me some with that crap, man.
How do you fuck up an Uncharted movie?
Oh, no, it's literally written for you. It is all there. It's done.
All you need to do
play
is
the
just
games.
Yeah, all you do is just fucking do the game, line for fucking line, scene for fucking scene, and bam, Uncharted movie.
That's it. It would be epic.
Well, do you want to hear about the Halo show that they're fucking up as well?
Oh, that too, man. Was it Master Commander, whatever? He's like a side gig now. Master Chief, whatever he is, he's a side dude now. And then I think they're focusing on the female character. But to go back to point, like a lot of my stuff is sort of like based around, male and female dynamics and all that sort of stuff. And I try
Right.
and put my 2 cents out there because look, there are some guys out there who will hear my shit and think, this guy's talking absolute crap. Like, I don't want to hear him. That's fine. I mean, this is the internet. This is the YouTube space. If anyone gets so heated over someone else's opinion of something, I think that says more about them than about the person who's putting the message out there. If you have a better message, counter it in a way. That's how I would sort of go about it. But
See, that's a big thing. Besides the no hymen, no diamond thing, I am very open minded when it comes to, admitting if I'm wrong, and I'm willing to change my stance if that person has, good reasoning, evidence, etc. Because you can't just say anything and say it's truth. You gotta explain, show me how is it correct, or a better version of what I'm saying. So, like, that's what Gray does often, right? What's your motto again? Then let's take it a step further.
Yeah, more or less. No, although honestly, I'd go even a step further than that.
See, look at that.
And say, like, the most valuable argument you can have is one that you lose, because then you actually learn something and grow from it.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything from an argument you win, except maybe how to articulate your position better.
Yep, exactly right. And I've left old videos on there from before August, after the whole Fresh and Free Aber and Preach thing blew up. I still got old videos on there reacting to like a Rollo Tomasi thing, or a Kevin Samuels bit, or a Fresh and Fit thing, and things like that, because I just saw something. I'm like, okay, I want to expand on this. I want to talk a little bit more about this. And right or wrong, it's there. If I removed it now, and then people say, oh, you removed your videos of Rollo Tomasi. Oh, you don't like him anymore. Or you're paired with this sort of group now. It's like, I leave that stuff up there so people can see the progression over time. They can see that's what I did a year ago. This is what I'm doing now. I think if you're stuck in the same space continuously, you're not really learning anything. You're literally stuck in that one space. Like, you're not expanding yourself to learn something different out there. You're not expanding yourself to be open to different ideologies. Like, if I wasn't open to hear what MGTOWs had to say, I would still probably think that they're bitter old men who don't want to do anything with women. But that's not the case. Black pillars, some will argue what the black pill stance is. They're more about, your looks come first and foremost. Everything after that is down to you. Red pillars will say, this is how the women act, and this is how to sort of like navigate around that sort of a thing, or this is what you need to look out for, etc., etc. So you learn a little bit of everything from different people. So that's why I say, like, I try and expand on certain things. If you haven't moved past where you were, a year ago, have you learned anything? That's what I'm asking.
Yep, I agree. And even when we explain everything that the Warband stands for, believes in, discuss about, if you don't agree with everything, that's fine. It's okay. If you don't believe the Warband is worth it, too easy. I'm not going to judge you, talk shit, etc. if you disagree with our points. Hey, if you don't like it, that's all right. If you want to come and discuss it, we can do that as well.
Well, it's like Tony Bruno says. He says, we normally say, let's agree to disagree. He says, no, we're men. We can just disagree and let's move on. Let's go crack a beer and let's have a drink together. You know what I mean? It's like, that's so stupid. I don't agree with you. You're a dickhead. Your stuff doesn't make sense. It's crap. Well, so I think yours is. All right, screw that. First round's on me. Let's go have a drink.
But instead, the people that tends to try to debate the Warband, mostly on their chronic, they go straight for the insults when their position is challenged.
That's all people have. They don't have anything else. If you go to the insults, the name calling, and the spurking out, you've already lost the argument. You've already lost.
Well, that's really the fundamental difference. Like, when you have two men who are like, you know what, we disagree, and we're always going to disagree, but we can still get along, they can recognize that they've had fundamentally different experiences that have shaped their ideologies. and they realize I'm not going to convince this guy, but we don't have to dislike each other. We can just acknowledge that we have fundamentally different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is trying to destroy you because of your ideologies, it's because they know you're right. They've experienced life and they've had to reject what they know is right. And seeing someone who lives opposed to their ideology living a more positive life destroys their identity, and they cannot accept that.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy part is, you know, I got very, very close friends of mine, only have around 3, 4 people I'll talk to or keep my circle small. We butt heads often, especially when it comes to political views, all the time. Oh, it gets rowdy, like, especially when there's drinks involved. You already know, especially when there's a gathering, somebody has to bring up politics, but we're still cool. Like, like I remember one time, like, it was an all-nighter discussion where it got heated here and there. Not too heated, but pretty much. How do I explain it? A debate contest, like, with two people go back and forth, and we can always agree, disagree, and move on. I don't have to hate you just because I don't agree with what you're saying. Like, we're
Yeah.
all different. It is what it is. So
Yeah, even with my best friend, he'll call me up because you're a little bit older. You've been through a few more things than I have. Let me give you a take on something, and I'll tell him, and he will disagree, but he won't get angry and amped up about it. He'll ask me questions. Okay, so why do you think this? Why do you think that? Like, he wants to be in a position to learn something or to at least understand what I'm saying before he processes all that and then comes back with the rebuttal or whatever he's going to say. And I think today a lot of guys will just hear something, and again, I've said this, I think another conversation, they'll listen to react, not to respond, because they'll hear something that they disagree with, and all of a sudden it's just a kind of no, you're wrong. It's like, well, hang on a second, let me finish what I'm saying first, and then we can possibly expand it on a little bit more. Let's take this a step further. I think if that's what a Gray's thing is, let's expand on this a little bit more here. So you come to a certain position where you say, okay, this is your bit, this is my bit, and then, okay, where do we go from here now? Where do we move there? Like Tony says, yes, a smart man learns from his mistakes, a wise man learns from others' mistakes. So if I said to him, I've done that before, I thought it was good at the time, it wasn't in the long run, I don't recommend it, but I'm not here to dictate what you do with yourself. You can pick and choose what you want to do yourself, my friend. And, he might disagree with me. He'll do it. He might come back and say, no, it was perfectly fine. I had no problems. Cool, man. I'm glad it worked out for you. Or he'll come back and he'll say, yeah, I did that. And yeah, it wasn't a bad idea. Well, that's a lesson learned now, not to do that.
see, and that's the crazier part, right? Is I rarely have an issue with a man when it comes to debates. But with a few women that I tried to debate before, it failed every time, especially when you start speaking logic and facts, at least from the position of your end.
Mhm.
Oh, it just escalates so quickly. I'm like, why are you so angry? Why are you yelling? Relax. All I'm stating this and this and this and that. How dare you as a woman?
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God. Are you serious right now? You're gonna pull that BS?
As
So-
a woman, yep, that's what it is. That's the deal, and that's the funny thing. As soon as they disagree with you, all of a sudden it's the name calling, and it's like, well, as a woman, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not looking at you as a woman. I'm looking at you as a human being, as another person. I don't care what your chromosomes are. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care what you decide to ride or bounce into or whatever at night. I don't give a crap. I'm talking ideas right now. If you come at me with that, well, as a woman or as a man sort of a thing, I suppose context does matter. But as you said, normally it always happens when it's a woman coming at you. They're always going to be saying, like, as a woman, it's like, I don't care. As a woman, as a human being, talk to me as a person.
yeah, I learned from my I should have learned from my dad, when I was younger. He always says, pick your battles. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Anytime I get to any type of discussion or debate with a woman, 7 times out of 10, it just does not end well. So I either just ignore what she's saying or just drop the conversation as soon as possible, because I learned immediately, hey, women, they primarily base their decision on emotions. When she's hyped up, she is really just because, like what we're gonna bring up Bill Burr again when he says, if she's wrong, she goes rogue.
Oh yeah,
Like she goes
Yep.
off road and goes straight to name calling.
yeah, that's always what happens. Always.
Well,
That's
like,
why you're gonna be alone forever. Like what?
yeah. Well, like
Bad dog,
realistically,
die alone.
like if you're in an argument, and I learned this a couple of years back, you're not arguing to convince the person opposite you. You're arguing to convince the neutral third parties observing.
Yes. Yes, actually. That's true. If it's just me and the other person, that's one thing. But if there's like one other person, it's a different dynamic, especially a moderator. Because at times we need a third person to keep things under control.
Oh yeah.
Well,
no,
even
I-
just like if you're having a back and forth in like a forum post or the comment section,
Yeah.
you're not going to convince the other person. They're not going to admit that, oh shit, I was wrong, you were right. No, you're aiming to just look like you're the more well put together, better, well informed presentation, as opposed to the other person who you're hoping collapses into a fucking name calling hysteria.
Yep. When the name calling starts, that's pretty much all done and dusted. Like it's all over.
But Nixon, do you have a little bit of time for callers? Because we'll let people in one at a time.
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay.
No problems at all, man. I'm normally the person calling into stream, so this is a little bit different for me. So
All right, too easy. Okay, so if you guys want to come in and chat for a bit, here you go. Here's the links. Also, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus and the Warband, the link is on top of the chat. Click on that link and donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus. All donations are appreciated. Thank you very much.
And the other thing is as well, we say with that donations thing, ask for the donate, whatever. The other thing that irks me, this is just a personal, gripe, but like people that constantly have the need to ask to get their likes up, like, man, let me enjoy your content before I hit that like button. Just because I follow you and I subscribe, that does not mean I'm gonna like everything you talk about. Like that's one thing I cannot stand. Like the Kevin Samuels thing where he says, "Oh no, get my likes up," and he plays that fucking internet music coming through and shit. It's like, bro, just do your damn show, man. You're making thousands of dollars when you fucking talking into your short SM7B from fucking 12 feet away. Just do your show, man.
Everybody get 3 figures worth of likes up, or I'm gonna start singing really cringe emo music right now.
We'll start doing a rap like Undead, but very, very poorly.
But I've never done that. I think that shit was weird, you know.
Me neither. It just annoys me. It's like, bro, just do your show. Let your content speak for itself. Let people enjoy the shit and like it themselves, man.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it. You know, if you don't, you don't. You know, I don't see. And that's another thing. It's just weird when every time the video starts, like, subscribe, notification bell. Ooh.
Yeah, like I've got one on my little videos as well. But I never say that. I always say it at the end of it. People say, no, say it at the start so they can do it. But like, I don't want to be that person, man. Let them choose themselves. If I remember to say, I say. If I don't, I don't. I got the little video playing in the top corner there, and it's just there as it is. I think it's a nice little cool thing to have. I just leave it on there, but I don't expect everyone to follow it verbatim. But asking people for the likes and cutting a stream midstream or whatever before you keep going again, that to me, it's just annoying to me.
Yeah, it's once again, it's very disingenuous of what you're trying to do. Because if you say you're a businessman and you're just trying to make that money, then that's a different story. But don't claim that, you know, you're here to help men out and then you stop the entire show just to get more donations or likes. Like,
Yep.
Come on, bro.
That's you coming at it from a business perspective in that sense. There, are you creating content for people to enjoy? I'm sure everyone wants to make money out of this if they can. I've never asked people to donate or give me a super chat or anything like that. But man, if they want to, they sure as hell can. I'm not going to say no. But to purposely be out there stopping and saying, "Oh, we need a few more dollars thrown into the thing," it's like, why bother being on? Just like ask for it. Just go on Patreon or just go subscribe only, and then you'll make your money that way.
Right, and that's when the paywall start to begin. I'm like, nah, because personally, it's just like a personal thing. I've said it before. I think Gray heard me say it. Yeah, if something happens to me, I want all of my information available. Hopefully, somebody archives it, but I want everything out in the open. If something happens to me, I want my message to be out there. If I get trampled to death by ostriches, like I want my information out there for all to see, for all young men, looking for that advice from previous men that their mother couldn't give them because they ran their father off. But I'm going to add this first person, Father Saunders. What's going on?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing
well.
great. Is that your foot?
That's my foot after a ruck march. I wanted to put that on.
Oh,
Damn.
okay. I was about to say,
I
bro,
want to put something nasty on there. I think the guys get kicked out of this one here. Here's my foot after freaking. I think it was. I can't remember if it was the 12 mile or since I was part of 127 out of Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, we did a 27-mile ruck march too, and it broke me off. Ruck marches destroyed me.
Yeah, it would have to be the 27 one. Yeah, the 12-mile one is bad, but the 27 one, it has to be, because I've never seen something that bad.
Yeah, that's just one. That's just one shot. I got others, but I'll just leave it there for now.
Yeah, we don't want to give the foot cougars too much.
Yeah, I know people got fetishes out there, but I don't think you want to be licking on that. At least I wouldn't recommend it. Not only would I not recommend it, if you come anywhere near my foot with your tongue, I'm going to kick you in the fucking face.
Yep.
No, I wanted to say, first of all, sorry, Sir Yeetus. I thought you were an 11 Bravo and you're 13 Bravo. So I wanted to the other way. Because you came on the chat, bro, I'm 13 Bravo. I'm like, oh, fuck that.
Speaking of military, Nixon, you ever served?
Nah, I haven't.
No?
Not my thing.
Do you know anybody that served?
Actually, a female I know, she funny enough was married to a guy, had a kid, and just through like mutual friends, and apparently some years later I'd found out through another mutual friend that they had divorced and she'd gone into the military in Australia, and I thought that was interesting. And I see her every now and again, and I think she's like a computer tech or something there, so she's not really serving per se, but she's in that particular that area. But for someone to be on the actual, in the actual front line, I don't actually know anyone that's actually there. I know a lot of police officers and people of law enforcement, but not anyone in the actual services, no.
Okay, Father Saunders, do you have anything to say to Nixon or anything that you want to speak on?
Say, relationships are dead. They're gone. Women killed it. In my eyes, you can add anything to that. Water is wet, whatever. But I also agree with you guys about it really pissed me off when the people stopped the show because of lack of likes. I think that's just retarded. It's rated R for retarded, dude. It's dumb. It's dumb as hell, and I never understood it. Oh, get the likes up, and then I put in your private chat, better get the likes up or I'm going to show my butthole. And, no, I just, this relatability, I'm actually a really, really introverted, quiet guy until you get me around similar, like-minded, relatable people, and then I don't shut up. Like last night, I did a stream until 6 a.m. It was brutal. I just get to talking, and I won't shut up sometimes. But no, like you said, if something happened to you, having your content out there, having that relatability, letting other people know that they're not alone, because as men, we don't have the spaces like you guys said, because every space that we've had has been infiltrated either by weak-minded men or women who ruin every space that they come onto.
Chameleons.
Yeah, and I just appreciate what you guys are doing. And Nixon, I've never actually seen any of your videos, so I'm going to check that out too.
Oh, good man. I'm just an Aussie out of Western Sydney, just speaking about whatever the hell he decides to speak about. Evidently, most of the time it's about X pills and male and female stuff. Or I'm sort of going on this trend now where I'm taking my DJing experience, 10 years in and out of clubs and private venues and things like that, and how men and women have interacted with one another and the things I've seen, and even I've been on those private yacht parties where the ladies, I like to call them, they're on the hour, so they're only there for 4 hours, and then they have to head off to the next event, if you catch my drift. So there's a lot of truth when you see those sort of things. So I'm sort of moving in that direction, but I still like to discuss all things, even if I'm raging about the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, I chose not to go see that because I just I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep Uncharted and Uncharted 2, which are my favorite, in my head, and I don't want it to be ruined by another shit show of a freaking Hollywood trying to make their spin on a freaking video game.
Yeah, it's literally written for you. It's literally being asked to be plagiarized. That's all you have to do. Plagiarize the damn thing.
The lore is already there, and that's what I get really pissed off in, is if it's already has an established lore, if it already has established writing, and like you said, it's already pretty much there, why the hell are you not using it, and why are you changing it to try to push in, like in today's standards, a certain ideology or some crap.
Yep.
It's awful. And the dynamic between men and women too, real quick, it's almost like, men and women are not getting along anymore, guys. I just don't see it. We're keeping each other at arm's length, man, because I don't want to get, accused of anything or this or that. And it's almost like you got to walk around with a body cam, because as a man, you're guilty until proven innocent just based on a woman's word. And then, women are be like, well, how come men don't approach or don't do this or don't do that? Be like, that's on you, man. That's on you. Okay. Cause it's easy for a woman to find a man. All they got to do is show up. It's not that way for guys. We have to actually put in a lot of effort. Women just gets to show up.
Yep. But when they hit the wall at the speed of sound, it's still your fault.
Yeah. Still your fault. If the woman cheats on you, that's your fault too. Even though she cheated, it's your fault. And
hey, Gray, is that you?
No.
He's chopping. I can hear someone chopping or doing something.
Is that you?
That's probably me rocking in my chair. I'll stop rocking.
Oh, there it is.
I was about to say, what is going on?
Oh, no, man. I like to come on streams, like Yeetus. I've been on Hammerhand Stream Chronics. I've streamed with Pop and Red and One Fast and all those guys, and I just enjoy doing it. You can go ahead and if you want someone else in there, that's fine. So that this whole thing that we do, people don't get tired of my ass constantly freaking talking.
I don't know. People put up with me for God knows how long. So
I'll stay. But if you want other people, if there's other people wanting to get in, you can go ahead. I can go ahead and leave.
Well, today we're just doing one at a time. But anytime in the future, you can stay on as long as you want.
Okay. Well, you guys have a good day, man, and it was good to listen to you and talk with y'all.
No problem, man.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Peace.
What
a chill dude. I like him.
That's the thing. Just having chill conversations, man. That's what it's at. No one needs to be heated. No one needs to get fired up about something, and just listen to people before we respond. I know I've been guilty of cutting off here and there, but like in terms of like coming at them from an aggressive standpoint, like I just pull back a little bit, like listen first, and then get your message out there.
Yeah, but if everyone did that, we wouldn't have any haters.
Yeah, there'd be no drama. There'd be no clickbait titles, anything like that. Nah.
But I'm going to add another person, Young Buddha.
Yo.
What is going on?
I was just on Chronic stream last night, so it's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm just out here doing my thing. We had a great conversation for the last couple hours.
Yeah, I was kind of upset. I kind of wanted him to keep talking. I like hearing that guy's voice.
It's the accent. It's the Australian accent. That's where it's at.
Does it remind you of Steve Irwin or what?
A little bit of that, but mainly Hammerhead. And just those kind of elderly voices I never really got to hear because my grandparents lived in Nebraska and I'm northern North Dakota, so it's like don't really get to see them, kind of a deal.
Oh, he's thinking about a previous caller, I think, not me. I don't have that
Oh.
Nebraskan accent.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, did you just call Nixon elderly?
Yeah, I'm like elderly.
No, I meant Father
Saunders,
Sanders.
yeah.
Okay.
That
I
makes
was about
sense.
to say, I'm like, I would have been kind of offended right too. Like,
I'm
damn.
elderly. Like, I'm only 33, man. Is that elderly these days? Holy shit!
No.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Hey, everyone over 30 is a boomer, don't you know?
Uh-oh. I'm almost there. But hey, what do you want to say to Nixon, or what do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess I kind of didn't have anything prepared, but even just, I mean, I just turned 15 like 2 weeks ago almost.
Oh well, young man.
Yeah,
young.
that's where the name comes from. But if you see Young Buddha 2, it's because my first channel got booted because of one Jack Murphy's meme I made, and I kind of have a little bit of resentment for that because I was like, I had like 3 other videos, shorts, something, and then just booted because I made one Jack Murphy joke. Yeah, it was just
Talked
kind of
about Slippy Slide or what?
no, it was like a 10-second short where it's like laughing, and then his cuck article, and then laughing, and then just him on the Slippy Slide a little bit, but not showing anything inappropriate.
YouTube's like, yeah, we don't do this here.
Yeah.
But hey, man, just it happens. Life, it just doesn't go your way at all. Believe me, I know.
Yeah,
So
man.
definitely just keep pushing forward if you're going to continue making content.
Definitely. I'll definitely need to get that laptop fixed up so I can do streams and stuff again. I'd like to do Jackbox Party streams again because those were always fun.
Yeah, agreed. And since you say you were 15, give me your opinion on the videos of the Warband or videos on Red Pill, MGTOW. What do you think of them?
Well, I think it really gives a new perspective. But I've been in this game for 2 years now, and I guess it's kind of a perspective when I try sharing this kind of information, everyone gets so confused by it. Like, you listen to this stuff? Like, how do you believe this stuff? Why would you listen to this stuff? It's not true. It's a bunch of garbage. Why listen to this?
Yeah, that's what they tell you. Yeah.
That's what they first, but that's usually, girls saying that and stuff.
I kind of figured.
But a few guys I've showed this stuff to, and they caught on a little bit. One had a girlfriend, and he's my age, and I'm like, that's a bit young for like, really, because they're like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna get married to her, like all the stuff, and then he saw her making out with one of his friends, and because I shown him this stuff, he's like, wow, you're right. Fuck her. I'm going to have to start lifting some more with you. What kind of other advice you've got? And I'm like, that's kind of my goal on content creating right now, is just trying to change my generation too. Proving that I'm kind of a living example that there's a little bit of change in. Sorry, I'm kind of getting nervous.
No,
that's all good, man. You're 15, bro. It's a big leap from 15, man. I was scared to talk in public at 15. I didn't get comfortable with speaking in public till I was like 18 or 20, man. So there's time in there. But it's the internet, man. There's no need to panic. And from someone who was in your position as well, I mean, you're getting stuff, as they say, the younger you get it, they probably say the better it is for you. Not because you're going to turn into this woman hater, not because you're going to be this misogynist, whatever, but you have a better understanding so you don't fall for the tricks and traps that have been sort of like put forward to young men out there. Don't worry about a woman's body count. And man, if that doesn't if that doesn't matter to you, then fine. But don't try and tell everyone that it doesn't matter when in actual fact it does. That's one
Exactly.
thing that I've noticed a lot these days. It's like, oh, why a woman's body count doesn't matter. It's like hell, it doesn't. Of course it matters. Like, who are you trying to gas up here, man?
And I think that's also part of it, as far as like, I show them this stuff, and they say it's garbage because it's woman hating, it's this, it's that. Stop listening to it because you'll become like them, and it's terrible for you. But it's all true. It's not hate. It's like, it's just seeing the world kind of what it actually is, and accepting that fact.
Yeah, and like I said, if I saw it earlier on with me, but again, blinded, never knew this sort of stuff existed. And like I said, I see it on a weekly basis, but it was just not in front of me until it was made obvious through my own questioning. And now I questioned it, and it's been revealed. Now I know what to look out for. And this is where I say I've had experience in some things. So if someone says to me, let's just say I'm an upcoming DJ, I'm 16, 17 years old, I want to do this and that, I'll tell them, I go, look, these things are going to happen for you. These things are definitely going to be a part of the thing that comes with it. This is what you need to look out for. Look out for ladies that'll do this. Look out for guys that'll do this sort of thing. Because the whole red pill, whatever, it's not just regarding women. It's sort of like, I like to see it as like regarding life in general as well. Because it's even in business as well. It like things do matter in that sort of aspect as well. It's not just with women. It goes through a whole bunch of other things as well.
Exactly. And this is the great thing about the internet, is that someone from Australia is talking to someone in the US and sharing this information lightning fast.
That's the beauty of it, man. It's 12:24 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon here, and I'm chilling out and I'm having a conversation with a whole bunch of other people, and this is what I'm all for. I'm all about having talks. Like, that's the part of the name, like Nixon Talks, and here goes Undead with the Puniti in the chat.
I see him.
Puniti.
Hey, let's see if I can bring him in real quick. But hey, Young Buddha, thank you for joining, man. That was a good insight. It's showing that it's working. The men right now are undoing the bullshit that our ancestors has been doing for the last 100 years. So
one last thing I kind of want to pull up. One of the other buddies I kind of help lead toward this kind of content. Well, the only reason why I noticed he needed it was that he's like, hey, have you heard of Fresh and Fit? And I'm like,
oh boy.
And I'm like, do you know what they actually do? They pay for wife in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wait, really? And I'm like, yep, here it is. And then I show a couple videos from you guys, and he's like, wow, they're frauds. Like, that's so fake. These guys sound real and know what they're actually talking about. Anyway, I think I'll sign off with that. Peace. And Puniti.
Puniti.
Younger and younger are learning. That's what the main goal, at least for me, is undoing all the bullshit that our simp ancestors been doing for the last 100+ years. Okay, I know this won't be fixed on a societal scale unless World War III happens.
There was a question in the chat. Feral Ravage says, how can a man prevent himself from falling back into sympathy or fantasies? I've seen dudes meet a unicorn and get entranced, all of a sudden call it purple pill.
Take your daily dose of red pills.
Yeah. Like I always say, ultimately the decision lies with you. It lies with you on how you want to take it forward. If you know information, and if you're willing to take the risk, well, that's a risk you take, and then that's a consequence you have to deal with if something happens thereafter. like you said, ultimately the way, you know, not to lose is not to play.
Yep, and also as a here's what I tell people who are, you know, on the ropes, they're undecided on what they should do. I tell them, hey, when it comes to a woman, it doesn't matter how quote unquote traditional she is. It's not the matter of if she will divorce you or not. It's the fact that she has a capability of doing it at any time. Also,
Correct.
women primarily base their decisions on emotions, and emotions change like the weather. Put two and two together. No one is safe. Not even the richest man on earth wasn't safe.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the thing. It's not a sense of like it will happen. It's there is every possibility it can happen because they have the power to make it happen. And that's the thing. Do you want to take that on board? If that's what you want to do, that's your call, man. But know that there is always the chance there for that possibility. That's the key thing. It'll never happen to me. It'll never happen to me. And then it's one of the people it does happen to.
Like shit. Oh, what'd you say, Gray?
But I think it's also funny because if you think about the original origin of a unicorn, it was just a poor description of a rhino.
Pretty much.
Them rhinos.
Or got a stick stuck into their head.
It looked like a horse with the one big horn in the center of its forehead. It's like, okay, I'm going to draw that thing. Oh, that looks kind of pretty. It's like, that's not what it looked like.
Hey,
okay.
On the Chronic, we were talking about POA roaches earlier today. It was pretty hilarious. You should come on and jump on and talk about it if you want.
Them roaches, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'm gonna add the vital message. What's up?
How we doing, man?
Very well, Matt. How you doing?
I'm feeling good. I saw you were on Yeetus' show. I had to tune in, drop some comments, drop a like, and say what's up.
Did you like the video automatically, or did you have to be told to like it?
Yeah. When Yeetus turned on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he said, drop likes, otherwise I'm just going to keep plugging my merch. That really got me to drop the likes right there.
Make it stop.
I put subliminal messages in my live stream.
Yeah, so like we're gonna be playing the Ice JJ Fish catalog unless we hit 100 likes right now.
I would click like so quick.
I see the likes going up as I say that. So
we're at 99 right now, so you know.
But hey, do you have anything that you want to speak on? Any topic?
Sounds like you've been covering a lot of different topics back and forth. I know you guys were talking about the dating coaches and how I had one on my show. Had a little YouTube drama. But yeah, it seems like they expect you to give them the stance that you believe everything they're saying online,
right?
And they try to gaslight you when you come from the perspective like, no, you got to prove me. And then they're like, oh, you're making these big claims, you got to back it up. I'm like, I'm just saying that kind of looks like a movie and not. It kind of looks like it's cut in a way to make you guys look good, and they're like, oh no, this is real raw footage right here. and even like spurred out to the point where he asked me like, hey, how about let's do a lie detector test and you pick a place of your choice and I'll pay for it, but if I go out clean, you got to reimburse me and make a video saying you're sorry.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that actually happened, man. Yeah, I was there watching the whole way through, man. It was quite hilarious, to be honest.
Yeah. So like, one, you want me to dox myself because I have to supervise, take time to write questions you can't weasel out for an 80 to 90% chance of proving true or false when the footage itself looks suspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the
Why
thing.
do they always think that you're dumb enough to dox yourself?
And his like right hand man is John Anthony Beam style. So,
well, that's the thing. They don't. It's like it's like if you're in the middle of a war and someone offers, "Oh, here's my terms of peace. Give me all of your land." It's like there's no way that you'd ever accept that, but they're like, "Oh, well, we offered terms of peace and they didn't accept. So
Yeah,
clearly they
then
don't want peace."
and then they add like wagers to it to make it seem like you're a coward for it. Like, they're
Or
like, oh, if you're right, let's put 10 grand on it, and then I'll even do it like five. You only have to put in 500, and I'll give you 10 grand if you beat it. I'm like, no, you're setting the terms of the challenge. You know how to beat it.
yeah, or you're at war, and then all of a sudden you hear somebody from the megaphone, "Hey, show your position, bro. Show your position. You want to win, right? Huh? You think your political views are better than mine? Show your position. I'll show you."
Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
no,
and then
what the fuck?
banged, dropped
Yeah.
down on.
But you'll see the inconsistencies though, like the concerns that I had were often dismissed as quote unquote small potatoes. But if they were small potatoes, you wouldn't hop on a channel with 200 subs to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly.
It's another thing as well. Like I had Sterling Cooper on, another guy who's linked with some other dudes on there, but we were talking about not philosophies and stuff. We were talking about paying for puniti and why someone would do it, and pros and cons and things like that. And I had like, I don't know, I had maybe just cracked the 5,000 or 10,000 sub at that point, and then I said to him, "Look, I'm a nobody, but do you mind having a chat with me? I want to talk about these sort of things." He goes, "Man, if there's one thing I've learned in this YouTube world, you have to collaborate with people that are higher and below you as well, because you never know who's going to come up later on in life where they'll remember. If someone knocks you back for something, people can be so vindictive. They can remember the most pettiest of things and knock you back for something you did 5 years ago, either knowingly or unknowingly. So having collaborations with other channels, I think it's important. I know a lot of people that probably would have said no to someone like Caduceus, and like, what, 200 subs, what's that going to do for me? But there could be something in it where maybe they are a little bit worried that there is maybe something that is being said of substance that they need to go in and defend themselves, which is probably why he maybe said, "You know what, I need to actually have a chat and reaffirm the people that follow me that this is not make-believe. I'm not doing some David Copperfield shit right now."
Well, Chronic pretty much. He's pretty much causing the turmoil right now.
The guy's don't worry about the Warband. He's on a war path, man. That's what he's on right now.
Yeah, like everybody, like I've noticed, like okay, the Warband in general, we've been on a roll, but when it comes to Underchronic, everybody is going after Underchronic from all sides, and it's making them more angry that he ain't budging a bit.
He's laughing. He's having the time of his life, man. He's kicking back. He's downing drinks. He's laughing. He's rapping on cue, off cue, yelling at the camera. Like, I can understand why people would be upset, because nothing phases this dude, because everything he says is like, whatever, man, I'm fighting with people on the internet. Like, what's that? It almost seems dumb in a sense to get so angry about something. And if you get angry about something, you're getting emotional about something.
There's a good chance there's a little bit of truth to it, because like if there's something that there's a good chance they at least believe it. If they're getting so upset, because if someone tells me something that's false, and I just go like, okay, that's kind of funny, but I'll just move on.
Well, for me, besides passing on the Warband message, we're about comedy as well. Like, we don't take it like that serious,
Oh yeah, it's hilarious, man.
Right? And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, certain things need to be talked about in a serious manner, but that's a beauty of the Warband, especially with Underchronic. He's able to balance comedy and the topic for the day. Not too many people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a skill on him, and definitely has a skill on him.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Since they knew what his name is, John Anthony and the other guy, they knew what Underchronic was saying was correct, and he was pretty much borderline trolling at that point. Underchronic, they went haywire when he went after that Liz girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeetus, do you know about the suspected cesarean scar on Liz's stomach area? Apparently, some say allegedly she's had a child and it was a cesarean. Some people played it off as it being an appendix removed, but Caduceus he gave a 10-15 minute dissection, no pun intended, on that particular claim because he is a medical student and basically went through it.
I just had
bit by
access
bit.
to Up to Date, and I was looking at. I was like, okay, when is this incision usually used? The midline, subumbilical, and the only midline one that wouldn't be the C-section or maybe like some bowel thing. The only other one I could think of would be exploratory laparotomy, but usually the pathology is like up by your liver or your spleen, so that's going to be higher up. And then I pointed out the reason why is because I think Playing with Fire account white knighted for John Anthony and said that it was an appy scar, and I was pretty much debunking that notion.
I still don't get why he white knights for that dude so much. It was borderline like, bro, like you gonna suck him off after that? Like you need to relax. Okay, he's a grown ass man. Okay. If he can defend himself. Why are you out of nowhere like, hey man, that's rude. Don't talk about his girl like that. I'll be pissed off if my homeboy did that. I know, like, bro, I'm here. I could defend my girl. Relax. Like, you're doing a little bit too much white knighting right now. Just sit down. Just shh. Just be moderate.
I don't think John Anthony would debate someone like Undead himself anyways. It'd have to be like a 2v1. Like even when he was on with that Q&A thing, I mean, and Vital went on there as well. We had a bit of a conversation, and then everyone's favorite, Stefan, jumped in as well. He's another dude that's making waves at the moment.
I would just let him go. Like let him free, because like I see him on his premieres and he's writing comments and responding to himself.
Yeah, there are some newcomers that are specifically in this dating scene, whether they're a coach or a PUA or a black pill or a red pill or whatever. There are newcomers in there that are going hard out at other people, whereas I'm just like, whatever, man. I'll give my opinion. If someone has a conversation about it, let's have a conversation. But to spurg out and start calling people names and things like that to me is a little bit far-fetched and a little bit extreme. But that's probably a conversation for another time.
I'll definitely watch your stream that you had with Playing with Fire.
Oh
sometime.
yeah. We had kind of a Spurg trilogy where I went on his show, pointed out my concerns and like of why, because like what really made me like bring up this point on a live stream is that my initial video on the infield, it was his roommate and not him, got flagged by the Playing with Fire channel.
Right.
So then I had to like lay it out in the comment, and he let me on his show, and I pointed out the jump cuts. I pointed out the comment saying that it was an uncut infield. I have also, then those were like kind of my ideas. Like if I was a person, I would think that it's fake from all these reasons. It sounds like you're hiding evidence. You're trying to like censor dissent while also like lying in comments, even if it's you or your employees. And that was kind of the main point. And then he went on my show. I kind of asked him about like, what do you think you actually can do for guys? And he answered the questions. So give him credit there. Might have told on himself a little bit, but
POAs, they can say a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, he admitted that he has a client with cerebral palsy that pays him money, and I was like,
wow.
I asked him, I was like, do you think you actually like know realistic expectations for him and like how to work with a condition like that? And he says like, no, but he told me he got close recently to losing his virginity. I was like, he's still a virgin though.
Yeah, that he came close, and he paid me handsomely for it. It's like, man, wait, did he say actually paid him, or did he say he did it for free?
No, it was like the same. Well, like he bought the coaching thing from him, and I was.
So he paid.
He paid.
He's still saying, "Let me do you a favor, kid. Let me help you out here. Let me get you on your way."
Yeah, and I'll be fair. He's not the worst. Like it doesn't say much that he's not the worst scammer, because like his prices aren't the Myron Groins price or the Richard Cooper prices, but
I mean,
it's
at
the
this
same.
point,
It's the same business though.
You're comparing the nutritional quality of various piles of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like one's maybe got like a few corn kernels in there. Other one like had a bit more protein, so it stinks a bit more.
Oh man. Empty calories, boys. That's empty calories.
So, the vital message, since
Yes,
your
sir.
channel is pretty new, right? When did you create your channel?
I made it about 4 or 5 months ago. Consistent.
Okay, so you don't post that much, but still very quality content. What is your overall? What is your channel about?
The main idea, I think the purpose of the Manosphere is, I think we all have unique situations. I don't think anyone can really give advice on how to navigate in the modern world, but because we all have unique situations, unique advantages, unique disadvantages. The whole point is to bring on different perspectives to provide options for people that might feel trapped. And if it aligns with you, take anything you hear you like from the stream, apply it to your own life. If nothing applies, there may be a guest next week that works. So I bring on interviews.
Boom. All right. See, I'm gonna have to subscribe to your channel then.
Hey, thank you so much.
No problem.
Caduceus actually runs a tight little ship there. The way he conducts his interviews, and even if you may not agree with him, like maybe he might say something I disagree with, but again, this is where, you know, as proper men out there, we don't start spurring on one another, because he does have a point to his. Other people have their points, and I have to say, out of all the people out there that do online streams and things like that, even from the first viewing of his, I just went, wow, this guy actually is well spoken and he doesn't overtalk people, provided, you know, everyone shows the same sort of courtesy. So I give credit there.
Well, in my opinion, if I don't have somebody that disagrees with me, the conversation for the most part is a waste of time. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're all different people with different skills, different perspectives. If we agree on everything, there's something wrong.
yeah, Gray can attest to that. Me and Gray, we disagree here and there. You know.
Oh yeah, like at the very least, if Yeetus says something I mostly agree with, I consider it a challenge to find something to oppose it with.
Yeah.
Well, what about this? What about
actually?
Like, is there some angle where I could find a disagreement? Because that makes more interesting conversation than just, oh yeah, that's totally cool. Because then the conversation dies, and that's no fun.
Yeah, and usually there's like, I'll be like, even if I agree, I'll be like, okay, how have you applied it to your life? Like, how have you used this info that we both agree on? Because like, I might learn a new way to move.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing. You know, I need to get on you guys' live stream if you do have one in the future.
So
we can talk about
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, I could do one-on-one interview. My format is it's one-on-one interview and then open panel, and the guest can stay or leave if they choose.
I bring all my peeps over. Bring all the Warband.
Yeah, so we get friends, foes, haters, trolls.
Man, I've got them saying Puniti now. I've got people who have no idea what the Warband is saying Puniti. It's wild.
Puniti, man.
I was wondering. I'm like, yo, how do you even know that word? How you know about that? But Gray, do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything?
I guess kind of what I'm personally been working on. So some of the reading I've been doing, like more kind of a philosophy, spiritual advancement. I'm running into a lot of the same kind of stuff on the red pill as a whole. Hence why I asked about red pill moments and fire earlier.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to do some exploration and see like how far that the red pill can be tied into greater spiritual advancement, and how maybe the ancients would see the same process that we see as a red pilling and where it led them. So maybe I'll be able to explore that further on if we talk about religion, or maybe I'll make a video series on the topic.
Okay.
Interesting.
Video series. I'm looking forward to that. Then I don't know how long it's going to take, but let me know when you get it done. I'm definitely down to see that. I've been thinking about doing a series on my own soon as well. Um, and it will definitely involve how do I say? I don't know how to put it into words, but it will definitely involve dynamics between men and women in modern society. And it will explain how the things are the way they are right now. Not too much in detail, but to the point where there's enough editing and enough monologue that anybody can pretty much understand. So it'd be pretty easy watch, around 5 to 10 minutes tops. I don't want to make long videos. I make long live streams, but not videos.
Yeah, that's the thing. Trying to find the balance between a video, like something that's relative. I think that what they say, there's a stat that says I think viewers have your attention for about 4 minutes. So try and put the most information or captivate them in those first 4 minutes. But with me, I like stack up on content, and I just, driving to work or at the gym or whatever, I listen to stuff in the background or I'll watch it. So I don't mind a 10, 15, 20-minute video, even a live stream throughout the course of a day. They're not so bad. My only thing is why I don't like live streams is because they're always done when I'm in the damn office at work and I can't join in and be a proper participant. But I suppose that's some of the negatives of living on the other side of the world.
Honestly, it took me a while to realize that people, they pretty much listen to the live stream anywhere. I at first had a perception that people just watch it at home, on their phone or on their computers, but not, in their car, at work, with family members. That's a dangerous move, but go for it. Live streams definitely have something of importance if you have substance, and not just talking about random shit. Something of value, at least when it comes to this type of content. Because if you just regurgitate the same shit over and over, women are bad. Ooh, like, okay.
Yeah, they don't need you to get that information. You're doing a value exchange. Like I think Grover, the THPP network, said it well, that all your viewers are your investors, and you got to give them dividends with every show.
Mm-hmm. Give them something valuable that they can take back with them, rather than just the same old stuff coming from another person. Which is why I say, like, okay, how can I relate what's happened to me, in a nightclub sense to something that's a red pill moment or a black pill moment or whatever? Like, how do you relate that? And then you sort of like, extrapolate from that and try and give them a message or some sort of anecdote in return, rather than just saying the same old stuff. Well, women are always the same. They're always going to go for the douchebags and et cetera, and blah, blah, blah. You got to give them something, something that they can at least think about, rather than just giving them what they want to hear. Give them something that they don't want to hear but have to.
Yeah.
Did we lose Yeetus?
No. Do we still have him?
I think he's gone. We're running the show. Take over. Let's go.
All right, now's when we talk about all the shit that's going
Hey
to get banned.
guys, it's John Anthony Lifestyle right here. I just want to let you know,
it's
you hop on the 30.
Sharp.
I found the cure to cancer, guys. Okay, you want to take Valtrex prep, and say you're an American DJ. And,
also, wear a wedding ring. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. Just wear a wedding ring and just creatine before you go out. Just so you got that.
You got
like real hype beast energy.
Yeah, I just want to say that anyone on this panel is a bunch of fucking pussies. She's an engineer, bro.
Yeah, she's a high quality woman. You'd bang her in a second. It's like, yeah, probably, but that's about it. I ain't gonna be living with the woman. What's wrong with you?
Well, if you bang her, then you can't criticize her because like that's just how it is, bro.
She's an engineer, bro. She's an engineer.
It's interesting here what Phil Ravage says. Like Taylor the Fiend, I know who Taylor the Fiend is. He's an Aussie dude. I don't know where he's from though. I don't know who Roma Army is, but he says they regurgitate back what they hear or repeat in the exact same thing on every video. That's what I'm saying. Like at one point there has to be something different on there. Like, okay, explain what's happening, but then give us something else on top of that. Don't just give us the same old, and this is why, gentlemen, women are trash, blah, blah, blah. Nitpick, find out what happened. Like, these are the some of the things that you need to look out for. If she does this more often than not, it could lead to this. Gentlemen, if you see a dude do this thing, it could lead to this at the end of the day. And it's just finding stuff on off TikTok and things like that. And TikTok is a great indicator of females' behaviors. I mean, they tell on themselves. I mean, you just look at them nonstop. They're all telling on themselves, and then they're complaining about things that they can change, but they won't because, well, why do I need to change? It's like, well, if you want something, you need to be the person to adapt and go for it. Like, if I want to be, the world's best DJ, for example, I can't expect people to just cater to me and say, yes, you're great, you're fantastic, clap, clap, clap. No, I need to work at it. I need to better my skill set. I need to do what I need to do to get to that position. If Caduceus wants to be the best
if you want to help with
medic,
a 30-minute call, I can get you there, bro.
I ain't paying a goddamn cent.
Well, part of the problem is, like, when you start doing the YouTube game for the money, you fall into the episodic format, much like The Simpsons. The Simpsons, none of them are ever going to ever develop into better people as a character. They need to stay in the exact same limbo state the entire time so that you can jump in at whatever point and get the exact same content.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys fall into a category I call the obligate grifter, where all their eggs are in the YouTube basket, and they, like, when you call them out for doing something wrong, you're threatening their income, and that's their bills. Maybe like they have a kid or whatever. Yeah, and about that topic of regurgitation, I see that very frequent among fresh and fit hater types. Like they bring up the valid points, but they might have the set, they might have the good production value, but it seems like it comes off more like they want to take down fresh and fit and take their place because they have views and they get the Jerry Springer type vibes.
Oh, a person's time is limited. If you destroy fresh and fit, their audience would have to go somewhere. Ideally, you send them to you. That's why all these PUAs are constantly attacking each other. They're fighting for a limited number of eyeballs.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is why it's important to like teach guys like how to identify these schemes instead of taking down the grifter, because you get rid of one, another one will take its place.
Yep.
That's why when the Warband starts rolling by, they get nervous.
Oh yeah,
they're out for it, and I've seen lots of other channels pop up where they just literally just do shorts. They just repost shorts or TikToks from women and other things like that, and and like Ruby does it, Undead does it as well, but they add something to it. They're not just reposting like reason number blah 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 not to date women, and it's like a 10-second TikTok of some lady doing something ridiculous, and then that's that. Like there's something else to it. Like at least change it in a way. Don't give us the same old stuff that we're used to hearing all over again. Give me something that I can think about rather than just looking at the obvious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I said before, if I'm constantly seeing a page where there's nothing but ass and titties as your thumbnail, and it's just nothing but TikTok videos, you don't give a damn about male issues. You're there for the cash crop. So I don't want to hear it. Yep. I don't want to. And that's just me. That's where I cross the line. Don't tell me that, oh, you're a red pill maker. Fuck out of here. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yep. You just regurgitating the same shit that you heard from Fresh and Fit or Undead Chronic or Hammerhand or whoever is pretty much mainstream in the manosphere, Kevin Samuels, and you just say the same thing over and over and over and over, and you're going to get those views because you got those same simps coming for the ass and titties, not for your message.
Yep, exactly right. They're looking to get that confirmation bias of, yeah, this is why ladies are trash. Yeah, this is why women ain't shit. It's like, man, maybe you need to look into the mirror and change like Michael Jackson said, start with the man in the mirror. Start changing yourself. No one's going to come to you. You have to go to them. Like, this is the thing I don't get, like the entitlement that ladies have, some men have as well. It's like, just because you think you deserve it or because you think it's yours by some divine right, that doesn't mean anything. You still need to put yourself in a position to be the person that is going to get what it is that you want. No one's just going to come to you for the sake of coming to you.
I mean, humility is freeing for that reason. You know, you can see things more clearly without any expectation, like beyond what you can control. So you just know that you know what you
Exactly.
bring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look on my channel, you rarely see anything that's the same. Like, you can scroll down, everything is pretty much different, except if it's like a part 2 or a part 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good passion of mine to give as much info as I can about different topics or situations. That's where the gold mine is when it comes to teaching young men, on how things work or what my experience was. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not
Yep.
the ass and titties, ass and titties, ass and you want more ass and titties? I got you. Like
Yeah.
what?
That's a proven formula. Plug in ass and titties, and then you'll get people coming.
I thought about doing it. But I was like, I can't do it. That ain't me. I couldn't. It's just so fucking like so.
Just soul sucking.
Okay,
Yeah.
but seriously though, you just one of these days we're just gonna make one of your videos like at least 30% ass and titties. Still same content, but 30% ass and titties, and just see how the views differentiate.
Bro, we should create like a 1-hour compilation just ass and titties.
Don't fucking
Just
tempt me,
bouncing
dude.
around.
I have what is necessary for that.
Bouncing
Don't
around
fucking
on
tempt me.
screen. That's all it's gonna be. 10 hours worth.
Oh no, just a random guy. The shekels are nice and all, but you know, it's this is something different for me. You know, something that I wish men when I was a boy that men should have taught me instead of bowing down to these fucking harpies. Okay. They ruin a lot, not just, people who I was around, but many weak men and uh modern women ruined a lot of lives based on their ideologies and position, because the men are too afraid to put their foot down. The women were running amok because nobody's holding them accountable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is definitely a passion thing for me, and you can definitely tell as I get more and more videos, the quality gets better and better. And right now, Gray is helping me a lot to up the production. It's going to look nice within a month or two. Ooh,
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
that's another thing as well when it comes to content and stuff. Like you look at people in the past and how they've upped their game. It's like what their message has remained not the same. Obviously, you talk about different things, but the way they deliver their message is sort of the same. But the appearance or the way it's getting out there is different, and that sort of also makes a bit of a difference in there. Like I've always said, like if your message is good, if people enjoy what you're saying, like you can just, and like you guys are now avatars on a screen, you're going to put a message out there, and then if it's good enough, it doesn't matter. But as soon as someone has taken issue with you, oh, you're an avatar, cam up, bro. Why don't you cam up? Put yourself on camera. If like, why would I put my face out there if I don't want to? Like, are you debating the person because of how they look, or are you debating the person because of what they say? Like, what's more valuable in this instance here?
Definitely what they say is the most important. And once again, like I said earlier, if that person can't argue against what you're saying, they immediately try to go for your looks. Reveal your face, bro. Reveal your face.
Oh,
mate,
you
Caduceus, you know what I'm about to say right now.
sus soldiers.
No, that there is that rate the faces, but I was gonna get back to the whole that conversation you had with Steve the Dean and his mates when they
Absolutely,
came
yeah.
on. Yeetus, I have to link you something in Discord, and it is painful to watch, but I guarantee you will be thoroughly entertained. You'll be thoroughly entertained.
All right.
Yeah, like have it on in the background, like when you're doing some work or whatever.
Oh boy.
It's long.
It was
Well,
dating
yeah.
coach. Is Steve the Dean consider himself a dating coach though?
I don't know. The man mindset is just as like vague and as snake oily as the
Yeah.
the dating coaching though.
Then he brought on Lucario and then another dude as well. And then we got to give a special shout out to Rosebud out there. He was the man. Rosebud
yeah.
was the man.
Yeah, you can catch me telling Lucario out there that he's eating cream pies when he's in his open relationship with his wife.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, they'll tell you that, you know, they say like, how do you value a man? Like, how do you give a man his value? And then it's like, oh, is it the character? And it's like, how many women have you got? And he's like, again, you're just that's the first question you asked me to see what kind of a man I am according to you. So you're basing my sense of manlyhood or manliness on the amount of women I have or have had or on rotation or whatever.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah. It's very inconsistent though. Like they preach the quote unquote game, and they say like, oh, it's not about women, it's about all this and that, everything in your life. Yet they're doing things just for the sake of female validation. Like Steve the Dean says, oh, I have wine by my bed, and I was like, oh, what? I'm like, why do you have the wine by your bed? And he's like, oh, because it sets the mood. She likes it a lot. And I'm like I think a normal person would say, hey, I like wine, so I buy wine.
Exactly
Well,
right. I just happen to have it there.
Although, let's be honest, if you have like a bottle of rum by your bed, that's a problem.
Or the solution.
Or the
Well,
solution,
yeah, but if you need a
suffering.
solution, it indicates a problem. It's like, you know,
Yeah, and
I,
you see,
I have a solution beside my bed. It's called a 40 ounce of rum. It's like,
It's called the.
hey, if
forget-
you see OGIT 1917 in the chat, he's always been doing duck avatars. The reason why he's been doing that is from that stream that Nixon's referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Great.
god! And
Will it look like a duck on your thing? It's like, no, that's a plague doctor from like the Middle Ages. It's like, why do I gotta pay attention to a man that looks like a duck on stream? Come on, man. It's like,
Yeah, 'cause,
Steve, calm down, bro. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you games, son. You trying to tell me I got 5 ladies on rotation, man? Shit. It's like, Steve.
Yeah, and he
relax.
plays his like voicemail quote unquote receipt from like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
That kind of thing.
But
Yeah.
GG2HH is Think Before You Sleep. One of
Yeah.
the top dogs when it comes to commentary videos.
Actually, I thoroughly enjoy his channel. Every time he posts a video up, I'm like, rub my hands together. I'm like, all right, let's get it on. Let's go. Because you know it's gonna be thorough, it's gonna be decent, it's gonna be well put together. And it's weird. He only started his channel in 2018 as well. And the guy's hit what 500,000 subs.
Yeah, I've been watching him since 10,000 subs, where he just
Yeah,
had that picture of the bed. Like
I've seen some of those
he
videos.
puts in a lot of work. I've
Oh, yeah.
seen his channel.
Yep. Oh yeah. Massively.
See,
And
If
one
I
thing I
posted
know,
it-
go for it. Yeah.
Also, if I posted a lot less than he does, then yeah, I definitely would have a lot more quality videos. But my subs are patient; they can't wait that long.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you? You
Yeah. I want to go back to that, like YouTube, like bringing value to people. One thing that shocked me entering is the amount of support you get from people when you're bringing something of value to someone
Mhm.
else. Like I got people.
It can still
coming on.
happen. It's just like they tend to be very niche. I don't know how many people here have ever watched Alpha Boosa's content, but he posted like once every couple months, and yeah, he's got a very loyal following as a result.
Yeah. Well, it just when you have that fault, when you're bringing something of substance, unlike the regurgitators that we mentioned earlier, you have people volunteering to help you grow. Like you got people that will mod for you. You got people that will make tracks for you, make memes for you, send in network guests for you. Like,
Do you know what pissed me off though the most is these reaction channels.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you literally just sit there watching somebody else's content.
You know, I like them. I like them because if they make one on me, they promote me.
Yeah.
Well,
I've had
true,
that.
but it's the fact that, especially in the shorts, these reactors in the shorts are even worse, where they just act all surprised. Oh, whoa, is that water? Oh my god! And
Oh,
somehow
that
they
stuff,
have
yeah.
a million subs.
Yep. That's the thing. The reaction is one thing. I prefer to be like a commentary sort of thing. Like I've done commentary where I'll play a little bit, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Play a little bit more for context, and give you my thoughts again. That sort of stuff I can understand. But for those who just have it on screen and they just make faces, that you can argue is plagiarism.
No, keep in mind, you're making content for, fully developed minds. They're making content for children.
Actually, that's a very good point. Actually, come to think of it, in a legitimate sense and in an insulting sense as well. That is a very good point because kids will see that sort of stuff and get more excited about that. You're right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It still pisses me off though. But when it comes to making content, Gray is definitely helping me on the visual side, and I am going to be switching up soon on how I create because I've been warning my subscribers for the last couple of weeks now that there's going to be major changes. Because the only reason I'm doing a live stream today is because you said that you will get on. I'm like, too easy, right? But I plan on cutting down to like every other day instead of every day because I'm almost at 100 streams.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's a grind right there.
Crazy grind, and I'm almost at 6K, which I never thought that I will make it that far. But I will definitely get to the point where we're working with Gray and other people, the Warband. It's going to be a complete upgrade of the channel. So I'm definitely hoping you guys are able to check it out when the time comes, because I do also want to talk about like current events or something along those lines that does involve the dynamics between men and women in relationships. So
yeah, that's sort of the stuff I sort of cover in a way. Like I saw an article of some dude who snuck into this woman's house that he followed on OnlyFans and made a copy of her key living up in her attic, and he was taking photos of her sleep and shit like that. And the kid was like 18 or 19 years old or something. I'm just like, bro, like these young minds are just poisoned from today's crap that you have them doing these sorts of things. And my whole point is like, if you can take anything away from that is understand that this pseudo quasi relationship that you think you have with this online person who is a real human being but is not really in connection with you, that stuff can really be dangerous and completely scramble your brain. And it's happening to a lot of young men out there, which is why I say like the OnlyFans thing, it's easy, but is it really worth it? Is it really giving you something of value? And some may say yes, it is. But then you have instances where guys just lose their minds, and worse happens, and tragedies happen.
Hell, male content creators, they go through the exact same thing, like on some Eminem Stan stuff. Like, dude, I don't even know you. Why are you so upset that I miss one super chat from you at the end of the show? I'm already logging out, and you're going on a complete tirade, making 100 videos on me, saying this is why you don't meet your hero. Like, what? Like, well, calm down. Like, you really think it will get to the point where they want to come to your house and wear your skin? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it can be extreme, and that's the thing that's sort of the pitfalls of the modern day online social media thing as well. Which my whole emphasis is social media isn't real. Don't read too much into it. If it ever becomes too much for you, turn it off and walk away. Do something else with your time, man.
Go touch some grass.
Exactly right. Go look how green it is. Go look at how lush it is. Maybe you should start a lawnmower and maybe cut it for once. So you might actually learn something.
This time of year, if it's green, you're in a very lucky hemisphere.
Oh man, but I'm sure the vital message he got started. So what are your plans for the channel? Like, what's your near future plans? The vital message, you there?
Yeah. Well, what's up, man?
Okay.
I was dazed out. But future plans in terms of content or my life?
your content, your near future.
I'm just looking for guests to bring on that are interesting, provide different perspectives. I've interviewed a lot of guys that talk about like the pay to play side of that being an option for, especially if they're on the inkwell side of things, if they just want to get their rocks off. I also talked with Grover, who's done a lot of international business. Some of the ways that people try to screw you over in deals, that kind of thing. I talked with dating roaches and kind of got them to expose themselves. So I kind of just need to get more guests. I might have some tap in streams where I share some of my ideas and then kind of bounce them off of others, kind of like what you're doing right now.
Right.
But it's secondary. It's a hobby at this point because my main goal is medical school I'm working in.
This, for the most part, like hell, even if somehow, some way I make it to 100,000 subs, I'm still treating this as like a passionate project of mine. Like it will never get to the point where I'm on some Kevin Samuel shit or, let me play the most annoying music right now. You
Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get them up.
Hold on, I'm gonna plug my merch right now. If we got 47 watching right now. We need to get 3,000 likes. We're gonna play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire until we get those likes. Do you have anything to plug, Yeetus? Do you have anything to plug, Gray? We're not talking until we get the likes.
Go in there, all of you, make 200 alt accounts and like this video for every single account.
Oh my god, it's insane. I will never get to that point. Donations only. That's it.
Yeah, we're only reading super chats 50 and up, guys.
Yeah.
Which I call bullshit on that one. In my opinion, first come, first serves, but at the same time, I do see why they do that.
Yeah, because they get a lot.
Yeah, get too many people.
Well, it's supply and demand, really. Like if you've got 1,000 super chats, like you can probably only afford to read the top ones. Otherwise, you'll never stop reading them because every super chat you read, 2 more pop up for $1.
You know who does that a lot? Lead Attorney, man. He'll read every super chat out there, and it's like, Lead, come on, man, long stroke. Fuck, that's the longest of the longest strokes, bro. Get on. It's an hour into the show. You're still reading super chats, man. Come on, get with it.
Oh shit, it's too funny. But I never had a female guest yet. I don't plan to have it happen unless I have a hater, maybe. Then I'll let her on because I doubt, a female wanna come up into this space unless she has something negative to say. So
Yeah, it'll be content regardless.
Yeah, it would be. You'd get something out of it for sure.
I mean, like sometimes, like it really depends on what perspective you're trying to like paint. Like what kind of perspective what value can she provide to a stream is kind of what you got to think of it. And maybe she'll tell you about a certain industry or a certain like app and kind of how it works. Like maybe like just kind of highlight that the DM inbox is just flooded 24/7 like that. Those like little easy things could be valuable, but that's kind of stuff we already know.
That is definitely true. There was something else that I wanted to speak on. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah. So let's start with Gray. You ever had an ex in the past or a woman you used to mess with in the past been trying to holler at you years later? Say like, hey, stranger.
Considering that my Facebook account has been locked from me for several years, they might have, but I wouldn't know.
What about you, Nixon?
Yeah, a couple of times. We sort of made mention of this on a stream yesterday, talking about not being able to negotiate sex, or sex is some lady was saying like, yeah, men need to negotiate. I'm just like, there's no negotiating for men. If men tried to holler at a chick, chances are they'd be told no from an ex in the past, and no, you can't do that. But if a chick does that, depending on maybe the experience the guy had with her in the past, it may be a, hey, what's up? Or it might be just an automatic, no, I'm deleting that request. I'm not responding to that at all. But I have had some ladies try and message me like some months later after a hookup or whatever, and you sort of like entertain the idea. But I think I've only ever followed through once out of like maybe 3 or 4 times that's probably happened because she was the hottest of the bunch. But it's rare. It doesn't really happen that often, and it's only for a fun time, not a long time. That's for sure.
For me, it was during 2020, so you guys already know why. You know, that was the most recent time I had at least, I think it was three separate women I used to mess with in the past, trying to call up, oh, hey, stranger, you know, because that's when Sleepy Joe ended the where they don't have to pay any rent, something like that. Yeah, when he ended
like
that,
hobosexuals.
yeah, pretty much. Like I've never heard from these ladies like in years. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, oh, you know, I see you doing well for yourself. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Would that be duomosexuals, sexually attracted to houses?
Oh, true. She's trying to get my goddamn house.
That's wild, man. They will try and do anything. They'll try and do anything they can to weasel their way back inside. And if you're strong enough, and if you're a person who's going to be like, yeah, I'm not letting you back into my life. You're a demonic being that needs to be locked up again. You know, banished to the Netherlands. You go.
All right, y'all. The one, the only, Underchronic.
Ah, here we go.
Do you know why I hate reaction channels?
Why is that?
Because I had a reaction channel, but apparently greenskins or men with dicks bigger than 8 inches aren't allowed to have fucking reaction channels.
Sorry, Chronic, you must be under this long to post a reaction video.
You know, when Susan sent those people to my house in little red uniforms, I was kind of sus, but they took out the ruler. I said, you're going to need another one of those.
Measuring tape. Get the measuring tape out there, man.
No, but
that's what you need.
This is an interesting point. All my response videos, you know, what made Underchronic the red pill MGTOW response videos, I simply can't do that anymore. They all get strikes.
Really?
Yep. Now I can respond to a video. I just can't be funny as I want to be funny. Now let's compare that to these reaction channels that get millions of views. iCucks turns on his camera. He pleases Wojakov's mega clit, and he could say whatever he wants. He literally told people to go effing die and kill themselves because they were roasting him for being a cuck. I can't even say white women are garbage on a video without thinking I'm going to get a strike. So the rules are not enforced evenly. There's these select sacred cows. And, you know, when there's a platform, it's not like I lost those skills, right? The machete is rusty, but a rusty machete will do the job.
Well, that is true.
It's still there. Definitely.
Yeah,
just look at Rwanda if you have a question about that.
Well, damn.
Machetes. Oh, hot damn.
And I wrote a freestyle about gothic bitches.
Hell yeah.
Is it for Manic?
No, when I write these raps, actually, you know what? I should just leave and actually record it. I got 2 written down. But no, I write that. Look, I talk about how big my schlong is. I talk about doing drugs. I talk about fucking hoes and shooting people. So that's basically what mainstream rap is. So like Chronic rap's basically the same as mainstream rap, except you know you get.
I don't know how many N bombs do you drop? If it's not at least 2 per minute, it's not mainstream rap.
Well, you know, if you're a white rapper, you just got to take some sus Xanax every now and then to maintain your cred, right? Shout what's his name? What's that dumbass that died doing Xanax? Lil Peep. Shout out Lil Peep. Shout out Lil Peep. The dumbass could be fucking goth bitches every day for the next 100 years, but you want to take some drugs. What a bitch.
See, you have to go on a major music YouTube channel and say, here, fucking play my song. Then you gotta have, I don't know, like the greatest animation ever. You just say some crazy shit.
Can you imagine would you imagine what an Undead Chronic music video would be?
Nothing
God, thing would be
but
hilarious.
big booty bitches.
He like walk
I'll
into the
let-
club, you know, he like looks in the club, there's some fat bitches, he goes, ugh. And he goes into the liquor store, like, you know, fist bumps the old Indian dude, buys like 4 handles, and just walks around taking shots with homeless dudes in LA.
4 handles, goddamn.
Smoking
God
blunts, you know, smoking blunts, flicking off the cops, and every video will end with Chronic getting arrested. Every single one.
Every single.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was America. Is this America? I thought it was America.
It has to
Or
be the same
Chronic getting black bagged, and then like they take off the hood and he's in the car. It's all these like busty ass bitches in CIA uniforms.
all hot for the green. That's what they want.
Rishi
They're all
says
hot for the
Wiggers
green.
need they lean. It wasn't lean, it was Xanax.
Yes.
Lean's good. Lean's healthy for the liver.
It's
No,
lean.
no.
Good for the health.
Yeetus is just like, I don't think so.
Hell to the fucking hell.
Liver is a
Shit, I know-
muscle. You
I know
gotta work
people
it
that
out,
take that
boys.
shit.
Come on now.
I know people that take that shit. Don't listen to Chronic.
I
That was not
Opioid.
end well.
told you what I
Just
told you
opioid
about.
max,
I
boyos.
told you about the green lean. You know how many drugs I put in there?
Yeah, you told me about that, and I don't know how.
Did I tell you about the green lean, Nixon?
No, I haven't heard about
Okay,
that. No.
okay, yeah. So, you know, while I'm doing a pregame in my fraternity, I was, you know, there's going to be an expose video coming out about me soon. I'm very excited. And the guy's just like, I got all the information I need. I'm like, that's. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm like, that's it. No, bro, I got a lot more degenerate shit I could talk about. Talk about how I like, you know, got pussy for cocaine one time. No, oh, whatever. No, so
That's a regular occurrence here in Sydney, man. If you got the white stuff, the ladies will come flocking to you, bro.
exactly. Yeah, there's this. You guys ever see the Red Bull girls? Do you have seen those?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, there's this Red Bull girl on campus, crazy ass redhead. Yeah, a couple lines of that powder, you get that she would do anything. She was actually the first video I put up on the P Hub page.
Yeah, that's why they're called that's why they're called coke whores, man.
Yep. Yeah, but the green lean. Okay, so you can get red Solo cup, but you can buy one that's like 30%. That's just like 50% bigger. It's a little taller, a little wider. Have you seen those before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Okay.
deal.
So you can also buy. It's not a tincture because that's mostly oil. It's THC suspended in a kind of a sugary water substance. It's not a soda, but you take shots of
I've
it.
had that one before.
You take shots of it. One shot's like 15, 25 milligrams of THC. So like 2 or 3 shots is like a big pot brownie. 2 to 3 shots, or you want a green now if you want to be really green. 4 shots in the bottom. Then you take some cough syrup with codeine. You know, the good shit that you actually got to like, get some dumb bitch to say she's sick to get.
Oh man.
A dose or 2. One time I put too much, I thought I was going to die. But usually you put two doses, right?
I
Because
already
you're not a
heard
bitch.
like you already got 60 milligrams of THC in there. Now you're adding lean.
Codeine, right? Now, if you're going for flavor, you can actually get it's a histamine blocker. It's just like a night aid sleep thing. You take one shot of that and you get the great flavor because of fucking course. Now there you're like a third through the cup up. That's 1 part of that, 1 part vodka, and the rest some Kool-Aid. You mix that shit up.
My goodness.
You got yourself a mad cocktail right there, bro.
Oh,
I don't know
dude,
how-
people be
That'd
like,
be
I want to
sweet,
try
man.
the green lean. I'm like, there's more than 2 drugs in it, though.
Slurring your speech.
I don't know how
everything,
you're
man.
still here.
That'd
How
probably
is
sweet,
it?
man.
That's-
He's undead Chronic, Yeetus, not dead
Yeah, don't give
Chronic.
me that. Don't give me that.
Yeah, no, that 1 cup will get you pumping for like 2 or 3. Well, I mean, probably like 3 or 4 hours. But like, you know, when I'm hammered, I want to drink and smoke more. So it's a rough situation, guys. I got a problem. My problem is I ran out of codeine.
Yeah, they banned that in Australia. You were able to get over the counter codeine meds, so not like the proper codeine, but stuff that had like, you know, a quarter of what a normal codeine tablet would have. So you have like the equivalent to Tylenol over there. You'd have like Panadol Plus or something like that.
You got like
And
Tylenol
then-
3s.
Yeah, so they had that equivalent here, and you couldn't get it off the shelf. You had to go to the counter at the back with the pharmacist, but they'll give it to you. And then it was a point where you had to go in with a medical prescription now, even for that sort of stuff, because there was such a
Pussies.
bad there was a massive intake of people doing the codeine stuff, taking all these tabs, and because they couldn't get a prescription for hard drugs, or they couldn't afford hard drugs, so they take codeine as painkillers, and they'll just smack a whole bunch of these, and there were a few unfortunate lives that were lost due to it, and the government, I think New South Wales, at least in the state I'm at, said you have to have a prescription out from a doctor in order for you to get even just like the weak stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I need a prescription, I'm not going weak. Give me the full strength, motherfucker.
So people died from that.
Yeah, overdose, through overdose.
That's
shit like
horrible. Yeetus, this is why I'm telling you, you need to up your liver game, man. You don't want to be like one of those people with whack liver game.
I ain't taking lead.
He's just like, I've seen what it does to my people.
They got whack. They got whack like diaphragm game because with that opioid hits and they tap out and they just stop breathing.
That's what it is, man. That they banned them, and now I can't even when I have like a bit of a headache, I can't take the normal shit. I have to go take the pluses. I can't even get pluses now. I got to go waste an hour at the doctor's office to get a prescription for something that's going to cost me $15 that I could have bought over the counter 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, that's why
Ruining
you
my
go
life,
around to Mike in the back alley because he's got the shit
That's
that'll
right.
fix you up.
My street pharmacist has me down pat, man. My street pharmacist got it going on.
Thank you. We thank you for your patronage.
Indeed, we do. Oh man, boys, I don't want to be the party pooper, but it's like 1:30 p.m. here, and I'm starving. I need to eat something to keep myself
Bro,
going.
I'm thinking about going to eat some goth pussy tonight, so we're the same mind.
Hey, be careful,
Christ.
man. After you get head, you'll look like you came out of the coal mines with that black lipstick.
Oh.
Yo, all I'm saying is after tonight, I'm gonna be black below the belt.
Blackballed in every
But-
sense of the word.
Hey, Undead Chronic, do you want to give us something before you head out? So
Nixon's leaving. I got like another 5 minutes. Nixon,
you
thanks
still
for joining.
here?
Thanks for
Okay.
joining as always, man.
No, I
Hey,
appreciate it, man.
Go ahead and
Thank you.
chill if you want.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your streams, man. I know you probably get a lot of callers out there. As I said to Yeetus at the start, I'm normally the person calling into streams. I don't normally have people asking me to go on their streams. I would suffer from self-diagnosed, what you would call imposter syndrome, where I don't think I've got anything of value, but for some reason, things I say maybe resonate with other people. So it's just something I'm coming to terms with. The YouTube game was never my my outcome. I just like literally fell into it. So I appreciate every bit of support and interaction I have, and learning new things, and getting people to say Punyiti Undead, as we were saying earlier on. People that have no idea what the Warband is, whatever, they all start saying Punyiti now. Even Vital Message says it. Yep. Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Spreading
the
message.
Warband translation of what Nixon said is subscribe to his fucking channel, you incel.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you're not subscribed, you're an incel. Isn't that right, Vital? Isn't that what certain people say?
Hey, I welcome the incels, man. Come sub to my channel. Like I know that some people that sub to me are incels. I know some people that sub to everyone's. Like, there's incels everywhere.
And Nixon, just remember this: like,
Mhm.
you only control the supply. You don't control the demand. If there's a lot of demand for what you want, that's not up to you.
Yep, exactly right. He who seeks shall findeth what they look for, and that is a proverb I just made up on the spot.
I am looking for goth pussy tonight, so I'll co-sign that.
Mate,
Hell
go
yeah.
hard, go forth, do whatever you can, Undead. Get whatever it is that your heart so desires and your nutsack desires, my friend. It is all up to you.
I want roaches crucified outside the Warband estate.
I think that's happening already. I think
Yeah, it's gonna be like Caesar.
They'd rather be crucified than to be made fun of IRL live. But Nixon, go get some food, man.
I will. I appreciate it. Thanks, Yeetus, for having me on. Thanks for your input as well, Gray. Caduceus, thanks for jumping on stream as well. And to the Undead one, thank you. And yes, go to Rishi's channel as well. Otherwise, you're a shroom cell, and shroom lives matter. So shout out to you. Shout out to the chat. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the conversation, and let's have another one soon. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Peace.
Thanks, boys.
Peace, man.
All right. So the vital message. When are you available for me to come onto
yeah.
your channel?
I'm thinking like I've been kind of squeezing in evenings. I'm in
I'm
Central
trying to
Time.
squeeze things in the evenings too, bro.
Absolutely.
Oh, my-
I don't know. My schedule's usually pretty jam packed, and I'm sure you're trying to be jam packed into something too, Chronic. But I don't know. I gotta check my calendar. It's usually pretty full because I got a lot of classes in.
Hey man, whenever you're available.
labs. Like yesterday,
Whenever-
I think had 7 lights in a lab.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. And
But like, yeah,
I
if
could
get
teach
me
you
on
everything you
Discord,
need to
I'm
know
the-
in the lab.
Warband
I could
there.
teach you what you need to know in the lab. What you trying to make?
Oh yeah.
God damn it. But hey, man.
Oh man.
Fucking chronic. But
Yo,
hey,
I made a lot of money selling DMT back in the day. That shit's not too hard to make. Until the fraternity president was like, "You're not going to turn the basement into a drug lag." I'm like, "You're just saying that because you get no pussy."
oh my god.
Hi, Susan.
But people love it when Chronic sprinkles that special dust on the top of the bowl.
But the vital message. Do you have anything to say before?
I just
start
want to say
closing out?
thank you for having me on. Thanks for the promo. Always great talking with you guys. Like I say, we don't have to I like to say that we can talk like men, disagree, share our thoughts, hopefully add value to the people watching.
Fuck yeah, that's what we do. And we roast cucks.
Fuck yeah.
But peace out, man, and definitely hit me up if you're trying to do that collab.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out.
Oh yeah, Undead Chronic. I forgot to let you know. Poor Man Podcast was watching my stream.
Who the fuck is
So-
that?
It's a guy. He's not, in the manosphere or whatever, blah blah. But he does also speak on male issues. He has around 200 or 300,000 subscribers.
Cool.
So, we're gonna try to connect to see if he's able to join my stream or I join his stream.
No, you should try to join his stream.
Oh, definitely. He was wondering why I wasn't monetized. I didn't want to tell him, Susan's racist.
Because you know a green skin. That's literally why it is. Like, a green skin, you get demonetized instantly.
Pretty much. Well, except for a boy Ribby. He's the favorite up there in YouTube headquarters. They love Ribby.
I mean, they like Ribby because they don't he's still a young frog. They got time to delete his channel.
Just give him a chance.
I need to hand out like purple hearts for every channel deleted. There's like a TikTok meme. It's like the first half is like this little gay kid just like, oh wow, you bullied a gay kid into Minecrafting himself. Here's a little medal, and the medal appears. And then the second part of it is like a scene from a movie. It's like Field Marshal Zelekshunov. He like takes off his jacket. There's 50 fucking medals. He straightens that shit out. I just said it to you, Yeetus, but I just saw another post. We could talk about this another stream because I know you're trying to close up. We should talk about how black women get turned on by watching white cops beat the shit out of black men.
Oh yeah, do you have
that
the video?
clip I sent you, bro?
Yeah, I saw that video. I
Hit mouth on the jaw on the ground. You're like, these bitches.
was surprised, but not surprised. Yes, chat. There's a video out there of a black woman saying that it turns her on that a black man is getting beat down by white men,
White cops. They go,
White
I
cops.
love it when white cops manhandle these black men. I'm like, what?
Is this how it was in the slave days?
Dude, it's worse than that. Whenever I have my my scientist friend over, he's black, and he always gives me my favorite meme. He always reminds me of there's like the Virgin versus Chad meme, and the Virgin one's just like, I swear I'm not racist. Ask my black friend. And the Chad meme is, of course I'm racist. Ask my black friend. Oh, it's just the funniest thing I've seen. But when we come over and we're gonna hit the bar, we're gonna hit that, but we always end up watching like police not brutality, but police shooting videos. Bro, I'm not even kidding. 70% of these videos, the black dude's pants and underwear comes down. I'm like, why are all these white cops? Why it looks like they're just trying to get some pussy, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding, man. Like, they're like the most random situations. Like the camera turns, like goes back, the dude's pants on the ground. Like, why is the man's pants? He can't even die in peace. You gotta unclothe him. Good God.
If I was being generous, I'd say, well, it's harder for a man to run away with his pants around his ankles.
No, it's stuff like
We ain't done with you, boy.
We'll have to respond to one video. There's like some. He's obviously on drugs or whatever, but he was carrying a bunch of people's credit cards, and like he goes to the hospital. He's like ODing. He's not ODing. He's just out of it. So they take him to the hospital, and then they find out he has a gun in the hospital. Bro, I'm not even kidding you. The camera pans. There's like 8 cops. It's a fucking shooting gallery. This guy's on the hospital bed, gets lit up. They tase him in the testes, and then his pants fall down. I'm like, God, bro, why? It's like the American police system standing strong to get that black pussy. It's like, you fucking. Oh,
What?
oh man.
Well, what time are you streaming? When's the next time you're streaming?
I don't
Well,
know.
when do you plan? You don't know?
I was gonna stream tonight, but I'm like, yo, I might hit the bar, before the crowd comes, just casually have like 3 to 4 beers, maybe like make out with a ball chick, make some bad decisions, and then like go home and just puke my brains out and stream at 1 a.m.
I was about to say it starts with 3 to 4 beers.
Yeah, he's just like, Chronic, you full of shit, man. It's gonna be 3 or 4 beers and 3 to 4 shots and 3 to 4 mixed drinks up in a bitch.
Especially when motherfuckers start, giving you free drinks. I'm like, hey, I'm
It always
like,
happens. I'm always just like, just being charismatic, letting the green skin shine through. And I'm like, okay, I'm done drinking. Some guy comes up, hey, I got you some drinks, bro. You're really cool. I'm like, well, I can't say no.
right. Free is free.
Free drinks, the best drink. But you're trying to end the stream, man. I'll hit you up later.
Yes, and also, one more thing. I do want to plan a stream with all of us together, or as many Warband members as possible. I think we need to do another one like that. We were close yesterday, but I said we should gather all of us back in the future. Anytime in the future. We need to bring the Avengers back.
I'll hit up Ribby.
All right, too easy. Thank you, Undead Chronic, for popping up once again.
I really just want to come in here and shit talk pick approaches, but I just talked about drugs. Oh, well.
Bro, that threw me off guard. Honestly, it did.
What, the drugs? Talk about drugs?
Yeah, I'm like, what the? Yo, I
What
got
are you talking about? That green lean.
We all know DMT stands for Don't Marry Thoughts.
The green lean opens some bitches wide enough so you can hit that spleen.
Hopefully that's part of your rap, man.
Oh man, you ever seen a frat boy and a drug dealer? Well, you have now.
But hey, man, I'll definitely talk to you later on after the stream.
Yep. Peace.
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 All right, y'all. We're going to start dying things down. This is my second chill of the night. I'm surprised. I'm on my 4th or 5th. But if you want to support your boy, Sir Yeetus, or the Warband in general, go ahead, click on that link on top of the chat and donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus. All donations are appreciated. Thank you very much. Gray, what do you think about the live stream today?
Honestly, I think we got a really good selection of guests. We covered, a shit ton of topics. I've got all the timestamp notes here. It's extensive.
Oh, damn, is that crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to need it, too, because I do plan on making a couple snippets, because we did have good conversations on a few of these topics.
Yeah, I'll send them to you via the Discord, but we covered just a huge range of stuff. It was a very good summary, and we got a lot of content out of this. Nixon was great. The callers were great. So very successful stream as a whole. I'm pretty happy with everything we got through here.
All right. Fuck yeah. And I do plan on having more guests in the future. I should have a few more next month. I'm going to get into contact with them immediately. Hopefully, I'll get one of the big dogs out there, so the Warband will be noticed. But hey, to the chat, thank you very much for staying with us for almost 4 hours. It was a very fun and interesting stream. That guy, Nixon Talks, once again, he's the one that's looking from the outside in. So he has a very unique perspective when it comes to Warband, Red Pill, MGTOW, all that crazy stuff that we speak on male issues. If you need to rewatch it, Gray's going to hook us up with the timestamps, so it'll be a lot easier for you to navigate through the live stream. Thank you, Gray, for joining. Thank you, chat, once again, for supporting your boy, Sir Yeetus. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully, you guys had your daily dose of red pills. And I am out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.